Hello and welcome to a Valence League Division 1, not Division 4 like it says on the screen, Division 1 Winners Round 1 playoffs between both by us and Villain. And we've got a hell of a game today. We are being joined by one of the most experienced casters that I've ever worked with in any capacity in Shokugeki today.
I mean, great caster just needs a great jungler, and that's next to me. So the second best jungler will be playing today. The first one is casting, but maybe our production knows something, and we're gonna have some Division 4 style of games. But let's hope not. We have some top tier games, and of course, both teams want to get a win. Like first match in the bracket stage is probably one of the most important ones, and this is the one you want to win. Like if you drop now to the losers bracket, it's a lot harder to get to the finals, and the pressure is on. So you want to stay on this winning side and keep the momentum going.
Yeah, exactly. And these teams have the exact same record and came from the same group. So they were both 5-2 coming into the playoffs, and they've played each other before. And when they met last time, it went the distance. It was a best of 3. Villain won the first game, then BBU won the second game, and then Villain won the third game. So in a best of 5, we could see that all the way through the series, right?
I mean, yeah, the game was played like a month ago, so that was like a patch old game. So a lot of it's changed. A lot of strategy comes into play in the best of 5s. It's not the same as best of 3. If you make one mistake, you can still make another one. You have that leverage, but I expect them to maybe change the result. Maybe they were unprepared on that game, BBU. I expect them to show something more, especially when you have Cup in the jungle, probably one of the best junglers I had the chance to play in the VL, and a really amazing vocal player. And we will see what he can bring to his team. But as we can see in the last patches, the top side is like really strong, and the jungle top synergy will be like the most crucial thing in these fights.
Yeah, I think you're right. And if we look down the list of the players and their roles within the team, BBU are more focused around that top side of the map in terms of player ability anyway. So it kind of suits the current meta playing around the top side of the map rather than trying to play through your AD carry or your bot lane. So I think we're probably going to see aggressive junglers come out, maybe scaling mid laners, safe bot lanes from BBE, and then probably some kind of 1v5 carry in the top. And what we need to see from Villain is whether they're able to match that or prevent the scaling from Johnny into the late game.
Yeah, and that's like a double-edged sword with scaling. You don't want too much scaling in your team, and if you put top laner with a scaling champ, like you don't want to see like a Jinx in a bot lane or a Veigar in a mid lane. You want something that can bring you through the early and mid game. But we saw in that game when BBU play versus Villain, their top laner Bobo was not scared to fight Johnny. Like he picked Gwen, he picked Akali, and he showed his skills, and he is not something to be like joked around. So Johnny needs to put like his best performance out, or he can get smacked again top. As we look at the last scores, it was not like really easily top lane. Like some games he won, some lost, but if he lets Bobo get ahead of him, he can punish him really hard.
Yeah, I think name of the game is going to be jungles, and I think the bans will probably be focused around that area as well, to be honest.
Yeah, especially to accept Xin ban. Viego was one of the strongest jungler in the moment, especially in pro play or semi-pro play. Maybe Kha'Zix and Diana. These are like, I think, the best junglers at the moment, but we should see like more priority picks.
Yeah, I think the Gragas ban is to take away some of those options to delay out that top lane. Like you said yourself, Bobo's not afraid to fight and trying to step up to Johnny. And Gragas is a great champion we've seen of recent weeks who's able to do that. He has good sustain and he has potential to actually get a good amount of damage out as well. On top of that, a fantastic teamfight champion. And there comes the Viego.
Yeah, but I want to see like a Shen ban. Shen is probably one of the strongest top laner at the moment. Doesn't really have a counter pick, and I don't really see many people play it. But as we said, to jungle bans already, Hecarim is coming up, and I would assume that will be a third ban Diana on the red side, because first pick Diana, you can just double look to the Yasuo, and that is a deadly combo that you don't want to
Yeah,
manage the
and
other
there's
team.
the
But
Yasuo ban so that it doesn't come through with the
yeah,
Wombo.
it looks like Cap doesn't want to play maybe Diana, so they will pick something else. We will see probably like a Rexa or something else he can pick up. But that's a weird ban, let's say, from the blue side.
Yeah, Trundle's a smart ban as well. As a champion that Cubs had pretty good results on overall. But I think if we're going to see a first jungle pick here, it's likely going to be an Olaf or maybe a Zinzao. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's okay. It's Volibear.
Yeah, another strong jungler at the moment that can like make a difference in team fight, especially if you have a dive composition. His ultimate is one of the best one for that, and that leaves still a lot of power picks open. I don't think the Volibear was the best decision here. Zeri, one of the strongest AD carries at the moment with the Jinx and maybe some else, and I don't know, maybe they don't want to show too much, but this Volibear can still go topside.
It can still go topside, but you said as well you're worried about having too much scaling on the team, and you want somebody who can maybe play make and get things going in the early to mid game to enable that scaling. And Volibear is definitely a champion who can do that with his ability to turn off towers. His clear is pretty strong anyway, and just having a guaranteed engage with that Q ultimate on click stun is pretty solid. And we see Lee Sin come in to answer it.
Yeah, Obsidian will get at least in. He showed great games. Again, this will be a fight of junglers, which we are watching all over the world. Basically, the games can be decided by junglers, so we will see how that goes. And Karma, again, a pick that got a lot of attention mid lane lately. Tank support Karma mid is kind of back. And that says a lot. That's Gangplank top, Volibear mid. Volibear jungler, and Karma can still be flexed, but this can be a bit of disrespect picking Gangplank
Yeah,
here blind. You
that's a
can
bit of an
really
ego
punish.
pick, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Into Lee Sin as well, and Lee Sin's not a jungler who struggles against GP like a lot of other junglers do. Like, he can gap close over the barrels and still get the insect off, and your orange isn't gonna stop the Dragon's Rage from knocking you back. Tryndamere to answer. Another champion that has came about a lot lately, specifically more in solo queue than teams, but his prominence is going through the win rates right now.
Like, this is the problem now. BBU didn't pick the AD carry now, and they can just ban the two most picked AD carries at the moment that are Jinx and maybe Jhin or something. I'm not sure what Frenzo will like here, but yeah, maybe he can put like some AP carry in the bot, like we saw Veigar AD carry, Karthus AD carries, maybe something like that. But this Tryndamere can be flexed too, can still go mid lane. We saw Tryndamere in that lane too, and yeah, at the moment, much better draft from the villain squad at BBU. Like, too
I
much
think so
priority
too.
in this Gangplank.
Yeah, I think they were scared of the Gangplank not making it through to the second round of bans, and that's why they picked it early here. And I know it's a big comfort champ for Johnny, but is it enough for him to straight 1v5 on when there's other champs that he's performed amicably with anyway? So I don't think the GP was super necessary. And like you said, maybe out of bot lane we won't see an ADC. Maybe we'll see something like Ziggs, Syndra, or even something a bit more passive that's going to stop the Zeri from snowballing out of control. Maybe get some disengage with the Tryndamere, because right now they have nothing to stop the Tryndamere going forwards outside of what, a Karma key, and that just might not be enough.
I don't know, there's still Camille was open, which is one of the best top laners. Riven, Tam Kench, like great top laners open. Even if you don't get Gangplank, like there is a lot of top laners still viable for you. So I think an AD carry pick should be there. And this Tam Kench again puts a lot of question marks on this composition. Is this Tam Kench top lane, which is still viable? Is it support? Is Trinda mid? Who is where? And again, a great pick. Pick and ban as far for Violent.
Yeah, it keeps all of the flex options open. The only thing that they're lacking right now is a little bit of ability power, and that we need some magic damage to come out of this composition. And I imagine we'll probably see that in the form of either a Mordecai as a top or a Gwen top, or obviously a standard mage in the mid lane, a Trin that goes up there. But like you said, it's kept a lot of options open for them. And on the other side, we see Misfortune. So is that Karma going mid or is it going support? I guess we're going to find out now. And they've got to kind of second guess who's going where.
Yeah, kind of blank picking now in two lanes, let's say, and that's Karma mid at the end. Probably, yeah. Rakan still one of the strongest supports at the moment. And What do you take here? Veigar is still open for mid lane. Lux, maybe Malzahar, something like that. Even Zerat could be good into Karma, but Karma basically shouldn't die in the mid lane. Like she has her shield, has the mana empowered W that heals her, and
Yeah.
she shouldn't be able to die in the mid lane, which was one of the worst nightmares when I
Ari.
play in VL. When people just play, when I picked Lucian Karma into me, and I was like, yeah, nice game, see you next one. But yeah, Ari still, I don't know how it got this far, but one of probably the strongest mid laner at the moment.
Yeah, Ari is the one that's picked, but also things like Corki and Victor are available as well. Again, champions that are going to happily scale and not try to kill Karma, who, like you said, is super safe in the mid lane anyway. But if I had to look at the drafts, I would say a lot of pick potential coming out of Villain. I quite like their late game scaling options as well, and Tridmir shouldn't have an issue matching GP at all throughout the games, and it's a lot easier for that champion to put his damage in than GP. So overall, I think Villain have an easier to do draft and more options in their draft. So I would probably favor them just purely based on champion picks so far.
I mean, yeah, they will look for picks in this team with this team, but in the other side, let's say BBU, they can just tower dive this again and again. Like they have global ult with Gangplank, they have the Volibear ult that can stop the turret aggro, Rakan that can jump in, bullet time for Misfortune. Then you have Karma that can shield everybody, and this is like a great attack here, especially on Tahm Kench Zeri. If they dive this bot lane when Volibear hit 6 or Gangplank hit 6, get Misfortune or Rakan ahead, this game could be easily done. On the other side, Ari, very hard to kill Karma, as we said a lot of times, and it's really hard even to push Karma under turret. Like she has a lot of wave clear, and Ari cannot really roam around, and yeah, they can be really punished with this team comp. But if Trinda gets ahead, Ari, like we know what they can do. They can basically, Trinda can just roll in and 1v5 them.
Yeah, and the four quotation mark squishy champions on the side of Villain are all pretty awkward to catch as well. Tryndamere has his E. He could go Gale Force, although we probably won't see that. It is an option for Crit Tryndamere at the moment. Lee Sin's very slippery as well. Ari obviously has her 3 ult flashes with the resets now. Zeri can jump over walls. And if, for whatever reason, you manage to get through all of their mobility and grab one of these characters, they can still be eaten by Tahm Kench, then he can just leave anyway. So it could actually be really difficult for BBU to get any kind of meaningful one-shot pop damage off here at the start of these team fights. And I think we're probably going to see this one go pretty late into the game, maybe 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah, but again, I think they need to use the bot lane when they're still laning. When Zeri doesn't really have escape, if you dive her, like before she gets to the wall, she should be dead there. Like if the bullet time hits, yeah, Tahm Kench can eat her, but Volibear can follow up with stun. Rakan can follow up with the knock-up, and they have a lot of CC. They can kind of deny their escape, but they need to communicate that well. And we know Cap is great at that and setting up this gang, so this is all on him to lose, let's say. But on the other side, Lee Sin, a very aggressive early jungler. So if Obsidian doesn't make plays in the early game, this game will just get out of his hands, and he will just be a CC bot after 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how this one's going to go. Obviously, with the two aggressive junglers, Lee Sin and Volibear, both will be looking to get their lanes rolling early. I would like to see some early aggression come out of bot lane. But Khan's ability to jump in and out and trade with this Zeri is going to be pretty. No other champ can really do that in the bot lane right now, and Pyke's probably the closest to it. So seeing how we're gonna Thresh Princess are gonna utilize the mobility from this Rakan and maybe get some good roams in as well. Karma and Rakan both have the ability to roam really well and maybe pair up with this Volibear and do some counter jungling and really punish this Lee Sin in the early. So maybe that's an angle that we're gonna see.
Yeah, I want to see still what Karma build he decides to go. We saw a lot of Shurelia Karmas. You can go full AP Karma. You can go tank Karma. Like there's a lot of possibilities. Like you can start with AP Karma, but if you like fall behind, if you die 2 times, you can just say, okay, guys, I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna shield you, speed you up, and that's all I gotta do here. If you get ahead, you just buy that Luden's Echo in Mantra, queue everybody to 20% HP, and let the other part of your team clean that mess up. But as we see, that's a Karma with Summoner Eri, so not really like grasp or something like that, which is good, which we see on Gangplank. But we'll see how it played out.
Where we're going to see the actual biggest issues, even if Tryndamere is able to match GP in the side lane, the actual siege potential that's going to come out of Karma, Misfortune, Volibear is tremendously high against a team with very limited wave clear. Of course, once she's got all of her parts together, like her Timer and her Hurricane, Zeri's able to match that. But it's going to be a while until she's able to consistently wave clear.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think could potentially see some early shenanigans going on as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of damage, especially with Karma. The Mantra Q is one of the best abilities in the level 1 scenario, but we will see if they want. And we can see 5 points from each side. Nobody wants to risk anything, but you need to get some information when the enemy jungler starts. I hope one of mid laners will put like a ward on the chickens, because that will tell you a lot about the jungler pathing. But as far as now, we can see 5 points, and nobody wants to risk it in this first game. But usually we see, especially in the first games, people try to risk and cheese something.
Yeah, typically because there's not so much on the line, especially in a best of 5. You think you can afford to drop one, and you've still got 2 chances at it, so it's not as worrying to try to do something a bit more exciting. But maybe we will see the wall coming out of Karma, and that's why we've got Kez over on the side. But nope, he's going to come safely back around to mid, and junglers will start on the opposite sides of the map, it would appear.
Yeah,
So
and
we might see
no
some of
worse
those early game
place.
spot that you wanted.
Like no worse place, and we see the pathing will be to both sides, but Johnny will help his jungler a bit. Here goes the ward from Tindamir, and they get the information they needed, and this will give a lot of information to Obsidian, which can maybe change his pathing, like maybe surprise anybody. We saw like Red into gank top, but we can see that he starts with a full clear bot side.
And we know as well, I mean, that gives the information over to Villain, but it also provides it to BBU as well. Tryndamere weren't leashing, and whilst Lee Sin very capable of doing a solo leash, Tompkins did expend some mana as well, so coming back to label mana missing almost ensures that the Lee Sin started on the bot side of the map, and that should give BBU a bit of confidence on where he's likely starting to.
These Trindas exchanges level 1 are basically like looking at a lottery. You're just waiting for that crit and hoping you win the trades. Like, here goes, he's ghosting. He knows Johnny doesn't have anywhere to run around. He's level 2, he wants to get the kill. He still has flash. Johnny is aware of that, but he's calling his jungler to help him a bit. And now Evo needs to run away. He will get safely away, but that gets the pressure. Gangplank needs to run away, but doesn't lose much of CS. He's coming back under his turret in the bot lane. A bit of exchange, but nothing more.
Yeah, so very lucky that the Volibear was still here to bail him out, because that GP is very susceptible to the Dangale. And like you said, Trindamere's early trades are no joke. One crit is all it takes for him to be able to completely decimate a fight. And having that ghost and being able to pop that early and get super involved in the fight was absolutely terrifying. And well done by Johnny to hold on to it. Someone doesn't have panic flash only to be flashed after.
If he flashed there, he's dead. Basically,
yeah.
Trinda just flashes behind him. He was just trying to get to the Volibear and survive, and that went perfectly. But when we were talking about Trinda crits, I always remember the old room pages when you always get that 1% crit chance that can win you the lane, and that was basically the lottery every game.
Yeah, I remember that. Back in the old days.
Yeah, now we have these comets, first strikes on Misfortune, like who thought of that.
It's a good trade in mid.
Yeah, but he doesn't get the snare. If he gets it, he can then Q and get a bit more damage on Ari, but unfortunately not. But he gets a lot more of sustain with his empowered W that gives him the HP back, so he can take those trades in the early game. But he needs to be careful about Lee Sin. We can see some wards in the river. I'm not sure if the ward in the Pixel Brush spot Lee Sin on top side, but he gets a nice big ward.
Though. So if we looked, I mean, the first dragon's due up in less than 60 seconds. It's going to be a mountain dragon to start with, so that could help with those early dives coming out of volley with his ult as well. And BBU already have the vision set up around that bot side, whereas Villain vision's over on the top side of the map, as is Lee Sin, their jungler. So maybe they're not going to look at doing an early dragon, whereas we'll see some action from BBU looking at picking that up straight away.
And we need to mention, on the top lane, there are no teleports on both sides. So
Yeah.
nobody can join those fights, but you have Gangplank with his global loot, and he wants to trade here. He has
I was
everything.
gonna
He
just
has Ignite.
tell-
Bobo is in danger. Bobo has nothing to run, but he will dash away. But flashes behind him, and Boribi gets the first blood in the top lane. Deserved, and Bobo wanted it a bit too much with that Trinda.
You have to respect the Gangplank passive on his true damage with that auto. It's every 13 seconds and it burns for a lot. This isn't a small amount of damage. It's pretty much a free ignite. On top of his other ignite that he's running in the lane and corrupting pot as well. That's 3 dots plus the true damage on top of just the barrel hitting as well. So it's so much damage early, and I think it was a little bit of disrespect maybe from Trinity not expecting GP to be able to put out that much damage.
I mean, he maybe didn't even see he has the Shin completed, and that's a lot more damage for Gangplank early in lead. And now that he gets the first kill, he gets the control of this lane, and if these battles will connect, Bobo will be in danger.
Look at that Q damage. 1 Q now with the Sheen proc, and it's taken off 25% of the trend HP already. And you've got to really start to worry about how this matchup's going to evolve now. Trinami's kind of out of this lane until level 6 at this point, I think.
Okay, we are 6 minutes in. Lee Sin did nothing. When do we start to worry about it?
Yeah, he's obviously going for the golden build. We already see the iron spiked a whip coming in. Apologies. And he's going to be going for a kind of a more fighter late game style, I guess. But where does he gank? GP had to be your way in. You had to look at ganking the GP. Surely it's a volatile matchup. He has the no mobility, and that's where I would have liked to see Lee Sin playing. But instead, he's kind of just farmed and existed.
You don't go mid lane, but like Karma can just walk away with her shields. Maybe they can get a Volibear on top side, but he gets spotted and he will just walk away, cap out of danger. But yeah, mid lane, you need your kick to get that CC and maybe kill Karma in the bot lane. You have Rakan that you cannot catch. Maybe you can get a misfortune, but she still has flash, and before you are 6, you cannot do nothing there. And yeah, really hard when you don't have that hard CC, and we know Tam Kench, no cap, it's like very telegraphed at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very well advertised, but it can still be used as a good flanking maneuver though, and getting right behind them, and then he's so sticky once he's on you as a champion. But we're gonna check out the CS difference in bot lane. It's pretty big, 12 CS difference, so it's a little bit of a 200 gold lead. It's not insurmountable. There's also a 200 gold advantage to Ari as well, but you expect that into the mid lane. Cameras want to survive and clear waves and kind of hang out. So overall, right now, I think BBU are doing pretty well at keeping the game stagnated and letting the GP to scale into this.
Yeah, next completed for him, and he's close to finishing his first item. 300 gold ahead for BBU, but it's not a lot. It's only 7 minutes in, and still no pressure from one or other team on this first Drake.
Yeah.
You see the Volibear is just enjoying. Okay, listen, you're not gonna gank anybody. I'm just gonna farm, scale, and just outscale you.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, who kills this Volibear late game? Zeri, Tryndamere? Like, whilst they're trying to kill the volley, that's when you're going to get the full use out of the bullet time, the GP ult, and it's the pressure's really going to stack. Like, they need to put pressure on these guys early, and currently I don't see that happening, and Dragon may be getting started here.
And it looks like Lee Sin and Ari will start it, but Volibear is in his spawn, so he's just walking out of his base, and this will be a free Drake for red team, and that's a nice thing for them, like denying a soul probably for enemy team, which would be weak. If this gets to an Ocean Soul and a Volibear, yeah, this is a GG.
Yeah, I mean, it's Infernal next, so Ocean Soul is definitely one of the potential drinks that we could see coming out. And GP really just playing around this barrel. It's really interesting to watch. I'm a GP enjoyer, but I'm terrible at the champ, and it's quite fun to watch somebody who knows what they're doing with him and play around that mini game themselves. BBU starting the Rift Herald up here.
Oh, meanwhile, in the bot lane, maybe in danger, good trade for Tam Kench. And what you said before, if Tam Kench is on you, he can stink, and Frenzo will get licked to his death. Kaisa gets here the first one. He will get the double kill, and Mami gets the double kill. Thank you, Daddy, and he will gladly take those.
Yeah, once Kench is on you, he's going to stick. And yeah, sure, that they managed to walk through and then Tom could tank the tower forever. But there was no flashes that they're available from the bot lane of BBU. I don't know why they didn't just early flash, just respect it. You've been caught, double flashed under your tower, and you live here. Sure, you're more vulnerable to the next time it happens, But you're just giving away 600 gold to a champion that really needs to get their first 2 items, and now Zeri's almost in the game already, and that's really not what you want from Villain.
But I think they didn't want to flash because of the Tam Kench. We still know the Abyssal Dive was ready, and I think he was holding it for that flashes. He didn't use it for engage when he was on them. He was waiting for the enemies to flash and maybe follow them, but they didn't, and they paid the price. In the end, that's a Trinity Force for Zeri, and that is gonna hurt in these stages of the game. And if Bunibi will not get ahead enough in this early game, and those battles will not connect, which is the bigger part of Gangplank. Like winning a lane with Gangplank, it's not that difficult. But once you get in those team fights, if you don't get those battles in the right spot, basically you can lose the game for your team.
Yeah, high risk, high reward, definitely. And the man on the screen right now on this Violet Cub, we need him to have a bigger impact in the game if the bot lane's going to start snowballing out of control, which it definitely could at this point. Obviously, Zeri's taking barrier this game instead of heal as well, so fully prepared to commit to the everybody else around me can die, I'm going to live, and just throw as many AoE auto attacks as I can into this front line. So you got to be really careful of the snowball.
The only lane he can really gank is this bot lane. Like top lane, Tryndamere has his ult, like you cannot really dive him. In the mid lane, Karma doesn't have that much of damage, as we can see. He's going the support build for this Karma Charm. Will not connect here for Ari, and the only option here is a bot lane, and bot lane is
no volleys here
behind.
though.
They know.
Oh, that will show it.
They know because they cleared the ward very badly. And here is the chance. A nice kick for in the Volibear. The Volibear jumps back, but Obsidian will jump out. Here comes the bullet time. Gets Obsidian in the backline. Couple tries to survive with his regen. The Rakan comes back in with Grand Haters, but doesn't get the knockups. And Mami is getting the triple here. And thank you, Daddy, again. He says that's a 5-0 Zeri. And we need to question what can BBU do next.
I actually think that the re-engage there from the Rakan was fine, but at no point was this Ignite used either. He's got the aggressive summoner, and it wasn't used in this fight. There was a lot of low health bars there, and if you just get the Ignite off, it stops the grey health from Tom, it stops the pot healing from both of them, and this was a really close fight. Good ult by Lee Sin as well, but the ability for Volibear to ult back out of it was good and kept the fight really close. And I mean, 3 for 1's not enough. It's just not enough. GP isn't getting enough damage up here. Sure, he's got what, a 25 CS lead now, but that's not 5 kills worth of gold.
Yeah, and like the mistake was made the moment they placed that pink ward in the bush. But let's see this on top lane. There was no kick for Obsidian, and Johnny will just flash away and walk away with his Gangplank. And back to the bot lane. Like they were cleaning that ward, and the moment you start hitting the ward, enemy gets vision. And Volibear, I think, was too close to that ward, and they got vision, so they know he was in that bush, and that is what they cost them the trade.
Yeah, they'll throw away Shelly here, and she will get that tower. I think she should get the charge up before Tryndamere kills her. And Tryndamere's a bit close here. Okay, I was expecting it.
Oh, in the mid lane, Ari in a bit of danger. The snare comes in, a lot of damage from Kez, but it's not enough. This is not an AP Karma, and Karma is now in danger. He needs to flash away from this everything. Now Chan will not connect. If disconnected, they can maybe get a kill, but Eon pretty low here on Ari. He needs to dash away, and he will survive this one. And yeah, most people disrespect the Karma damage, and Obsidian tries to get the kill, but hops out. Unfortunately, Cap didn't get the stun here, and
Look
again,
at the wards all over this part of the map, because Obsidian is jumping around everywhere on this Lee Sin right now, desperately trying to make a play happen, and the fight's carrying on.
Oh, he got licked, but he will escape at the end. Misfortune comes to head with Make It Rain, and everybody's here now. Drake is up. This is the Infernal Drake. Will they contest? Like, Trinda cannot join this fight. He has no TP. He's on the top lane, but they have no information about it.
Yeah, and GP getting hit by this charm, but he's going to be able to heal that up, and going to try use a bit of his early gold to get some vision here. Inferno Dragon shouldn't be contested, and that'll be 2 Drakes on the board for Villain. The gold lead, again, not an insurmountable figure, but has flipped over to the side of Villain now with these early kills and the double dragons too. So it comes to question, are they going to be able to utilize the small advantage they've got, and which is on the Zeri, which is on the Lee Sin, and maybe get some towers down early and really push this gold lead.
Yeah, they need to abuse now the Zeri that's ahead. Like, if they just stay in lane and don't do anything with this lead, like they would just give a chance to BBU to come back, but they need to do something. And the first thing is this bot lane. Lee Sin is hovering. The Gangplank ulti is coming to clear this wave. Can get the shutdown on this. Maybe is Harry, but unfortunately Tamkench is here to eat it. The thick skin will maybe save his life. The safeguard will not be enough. Obsidian now in danger, but Mami has a lot of damage. Cup will need to run away. Can now Cass help him? Where is the shield? Where is the damage? We can see Mami can just dance around. That's the power of Zeri in the top lane. Meanwhile, Bobo and Bonibi try to follow one. Bobo who will get the fight. Bobo gets the fight with the Tryndamere. The ult is too strong, but Momi is still alive. Momi tries to carry this bot lane, and he gets one. He gets two probably. Cass is in danger. Gets the double. Gets the triple. And this Kaisa Mami is on fire.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Fighting all over the board. The fight in top lane, even coming down to that last tick of the Tryndamere ult, keeping him going. The engage, disengage, and then re-engage out of villain in the bot lane as well. Kaisa Momi being able to stay safe on this Zeri the entire time was honestly positioning miracle, avoiding all of that damage. The Tamkench sacrificed himself, of course, with the ultimate to make sure that Zeri can get out alive and then re-engage with all of that Triforce damage, and it's a completed Blade of the Rune King now coming out with this Zeri. And I don't know what BBU are going to do to slow down the pace of the game, because if they don't, I fear this could be a 25-minute end.
It's a 15-minute in and we have 2 items on AD carry. Like, that's just scary. 2 Drakes for their team, and even if Lee Sin did nothing for first 7 minutes, he did enough now. He was there when they needed. And Cup again in danger. This Sonic Wave will not connect. And maybe he can get out. Karma is coming. Gangplank is coming. But he's a bit alone. But he's a tanky boy. Maybe this Volibear can survive everything. Still his ult is not available at the moment. So he will be a bit in danger. And he will fall at the end. Lee Sin gets his first kill. Need to flash away from this Mantra Q. Zeri comes to pick another one probably. And no, that will be a double kill for Lee Sin. And they're just looking for kills right and left.
Bit of an overstay here. I think this is a desperation. Maybe we can get a pick here and get some goal back in, get something working for us. But unfortunately, the rotates are too quick from Villain, and they were ready for this pick. And 4 versus 2, no matter how far ahead you think this GP is, that's not a fight that he can carry. And sure, the Karma Shield is there, but like you said, it's a support Karma. She doesn't do too much in the way of damage to help in that fight. Fancy feet though, broken ankles.
But not enough. Moby can right-click, and that's enough to get his 9th kill in this game. 16 minutes in, like basically every second minute he gets a kill. He's on fire.
Yeah, they need to find a way to shut down the Zeri, and unfortunately the only kind of backline guaranteed CC they have is this Volibear Q, and he's not tanky enough to get in there and keep her still long enough right now. So look at the vision. Look at the vision. BBU's topside jungle, it's not their jungle anymore. There's more red in there than anything else.
Yeah, basically they have a live audience there, but this Turbo Champ tank, what will he do? Like, he can run into Zeri, Tamkench is there to eat her, and what then? He can just look at that Tamkench and say, hey, wait, when will you throw Zeri out? Never. I mean, you're dead. Like, there is Ari that's waiting with Charm. When Zeri pops out, she can just flash away, dash away. Like, we started calling this Zeri like an annoying fly. Like, she just flies around. You cannot hit her like a mosquito when you want to kill in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and like we said in the Champ Select, the amount of options available for Villain were just a bit higher in what they could do. They only needed one of these 3 lanes to actually have a pop-off, and it turns out it was the bot lane. And Zeri is trying the best, Kaisa Momi here, to utilize the champion and the lead they've got, and is currently in mid lane, trying to excel that lead a bit more. We see Rift Herald available for Lee Sin, so that's likely going to be dropped in mid as well. Maybe for the Dragon that's going to come up, which will give them Ocean Soul Point, because it is Ocean and Dragon available.
Yeah, Fresno needs to be careful here. You can see even Tamkench does a lot of damage already on him, and he can dive him, but Cub is here to defend a bit. This turret shouldn't fall from this dash. Yeah, the Herald will now fall, so no mid turret for now, but they have a nice gold lead and they want to get more before this, as you said, Ocean Drake comes. Maybe they catch Zeri, but no, they cannot. They make it rain, does 0 damage, double tap makes 0 damage, and what can you even do in the top lane? Bobo wants the 1-1 Bonnie again, and this is the power of Trinda, but he didn't do it.
He didn't ult. Where was the Undying Rage?
Oh, I think he was raging.
Oh, he's raging now if he wasn't before. Clicks his ult himself a couple of times and lets us know it is definitely available. The problem is that Rift Herald did give BBU...
Nice
it's a steal
from the Cub, but at the end he will die, and they get the extra bounty and this, let's say, Ocean, Drake Soul denied from the other team. So let's say it's kind of worth here dying for this Drake.
I
And
think that's hugely worth. Yeah, like you said, delaying the Ocean Soul just delays the game an extra 5 minutes because that's the timer for Drake spawns, and that's kind of huge actually because you're able to buy some more time for your GP to get bigger, for your MF to scale into the game a little bit as well.
yeah, but because of that they get this mid turret without contest, and then can they maybe force an early Baron? That's my question.
It would be tough. It would be tough because sure they have Zeri and Trinda for damage, but they're not actually super tanky. So let's say Tam can't just soak pressure, you're gonna have to use Ari for zone. It's kind of risky, so they can definitely try pull BBU into some of these darker areas of the map, as we see a solo journey right now from Kez trying to get some vision down desperately to make sure that early Baron doesn't happen. I think the CS differential starting to form as well between the top laners at 40 CS up now. And what Johnny has done historically in games for BBU previously, this split, is just sit in the side lane, scale up, and then we'll turn up to a fight and kill 3 people. So we need early pressure.
A bit in danger, but the Blastcon is safer. And if we take a look again, vision, there is 0 ward past the river from the BBU. There is one in the bot side bush in the mid lane, and that's it. Like pretty much they have no vision past their jungler. On the other side, if we turn into the their team's view, like there are red wards everywhere in the enemy jungle. Like BBU needs to be scared to check every bush, but luckily for them, they have Karma, they have Make It Rain, a lot of those abilities to not face checken.
Yeah, I mean the karma keys, as well, like you said, it just, and also the volley berries. Yeah, so they've got plenty of vision testing abilities, I guess, so that they don't get picked walking towards the Baron. And all they need to know is that it's not being started, and that's enough for them to not have to commit and get caught out. Priority though, all lanes at the moment pushing into BBU. Villain are doing a great job at keeping this pressure up. It's whether they can make it manifest into something more, or are they just delaying for these dragons? Surely that's not the call. That's too long to wait.
And they need to do something now. Like you have a big lead now, you need to use it. As we said, Lee Sin will start to fall behind, and you don't want that to happen before you finish the game. Zeri is ahead from Miss Fortune, which can scale back if they wait for these Drakes and give another option for BBU maybe to come back. And as we know, bullet time can make a big difference in these fights around Baron and Drakes.
Yeah, it is worth noting as well, we did see the Gale Force pickup coming out of Tryndamere, which does enable him to get onto this GP and maybe play around those barrels a little bit more aggressively than he would be able to if he went for a different mythic. So it's interesting to see how that 1v1 is going to continue to play out throughout this match and throughout the series. To be honest, it's been a very close 1v1 so far. These two Titans at top lane giving each other the best they can, and BBU just happily picking up these lanes, not even losing tier 2 towers right now. And I think we need to see some aggression from Villain. They need to get angry, and they've got a 4k gold lead, whether it feels like it or not, 3.5k. They need to use the advantage they've got rather than just pushing waves in.
Yeah, we saw the Johnny damage right now with Gangplank, but you need to connect those battles where they don't expect it. Like, they're easily to connect when a guy is standing in the bush, when you have vision, but in team fights, when everybody is moving, when you have Zeri moving around, Ari moving around, Trinda, Lee Sin, basically Tahm Kench is the slowest one, and it's not really the target you want to focus, and it's a hard game for Johnny in the top lane on this Gangplank, like, to hit those kill shots, even the bullet time. If you just throw it, Ari can dash away, Lee Sin can jump, Tryndamere can go away, Zeri can dash away, like basically everybody can just get out.
I think in an ideal world for me, you let Villain set up around an objective, or you get set up around an objective, and you don't even worry too much about the volleyball. He's going to engage, he's just going to be a big number, whatever. You put your Karma Shield onto the Rakan, you GP ult, you send the Rakan in with his ult to keep everybody together, and then you lay the barrels on top while everybody's charmed. But that's if they allow that to happen. And it's a very hard kind of order of things that all need to happen in the right order in a very quick fashion.
Shurelia popped, and they need to respond to Ari top lane, or she will get that inhib turret, and we see Miss Fortune is moving to the mid lane, and Can they just get this free Drake? But maybe Tam Kench is in trouble. He needs to flash away. Zeri gets the ult on 2 mans, but can he get out? They need the damage from the Zeri to clean up this team fight. Nice knock up from Darkan on 3 man behind, but he has no damage. And Mommy is behind, free hitting everybody. And this is the problem. Nobody's on her. He dashes out for the bullet time, but at the end, Johnny gets the shot on Zeri, and that is very important. Now Lee Sin falls down, and that's amazing. 2 kills from Johnny, and this makes a big difference. But in the top lane, Yeon is taking the inhib.
What a fight from BBU. Absolutely crazy. This GP got 3 different attacks off on the Zeri. And let's not underestimate the damage that Rakan W done. Sure, Boba was living for 8 seconds with that Undying Rage, being smacked on by all of these backliners and not really dying at all. But the Rakan being able to buy so much time for everybody else on BBU's team there was fucking huge. That was crazy how much time he bought, and it meant that by the time the backline of Villain caught up to the fight, it was too late. The Tryndamere had finally fallen, the Undying Rage had ran out, and we were able to kill him and get it done. Sure, Ari gets the inhibitor on the top side, but when you're behind so much gold, it's now only 2k, and they get the dragon. They've tied up the dragon numbers.
Yeah, and AD Carry finally gets the second item. Collector is here for him. We see Gangplank now going for the Infinity Edge, probably with the pickaxe and BF sword. Like a lot of big items completed for the BBU team, and this is what they needed. And 3k gold in 25 minutes, it's not that much as like 5-10 minutes before, and they can still come back. And if you can pop Mommy, you can destroy the whole of their team. But we saw Mommy, he survived for a long time. A lot of free hits from him, and if those barrels didn't connect at the start, they would be doomed. And this is what they need to do. Baron, straight from respawn, go to Baron. You have vision, you have the top lane pushing super minions, and they are not prepared for the BBU doesn't have vision now. The
Cannon Barrage is available as well. There it comes, big damage, and that will push them off it for now. Yeah.
Listen needs to heal up. Trinda is waiting in the bush, but unfortunately will get nobody.
Aracham over the wall could be devastating here. He's got to be really careful of his position on the GP.
This is the problem. Trinda has no teleport. You cannot just put him bot side and like force Baron with the other 4 people. And yeah, if they had Tipo on the top lane, just go bot side. You have super minions in top lane. Shock to Charm will hit, but the orange is too strong in this game.
His GP's level 16. Like, obviously he's 65 CS up, but the 2 levels over Tryndamere as well is huge. And joining these team fights against level 11 Lee Sin, level 14, level 10s, like, it has such an impact.
Gets the charm here on Cap, but Cap jumps out and bullet time comes on 2 members. Tam Kench is down, but in the backline, Tryndamere try to get the kill. Can he get at least one? The shield from Karma coming, double kill for Misfortune, but here's Mommy. Who's now the bigger carry? Johnny or Mommy? Who has more damage? He can heal, but he cannot escape the double kill. The shutdown here for Zeri. Zeri needs to get more, but gets the stun, gets out of the knockout from Rakan, but can he get enough? He has no protection now. Cap is on him, but in the front line, Obsidian try to run away. Now Cap is out. Cap gets the shield from Karma, and still Mommy is alive. Mommy is hitting. Can he get more? Mommy is the MVP now. He needs to make the big play. He needs to survive this. He gets one. He can get Fresno. Fresno tries to run away. Doesn't have a flash. He doesn't connect his W, but the snare will doom him. He dashes the last second, and Cap now tries to get to him, but Lee Sin comes to help, and looks like white flags from both sides, and they will just end it there.
Holy moly, the Zeri with the death stance getting so much HP back from these fights. And again, the quick feet from the kind of moving around, getting the knockups on different characters. The fact that Mommy was able to live for so long on the Zeri is absolutely insane. These fights are crazy. I don't know how you manage to keep up with them. They are non-stop forward to back to forwards, in the middle as well. And then at the end, only 2 people dead for each team. How did that happen?
This fight could be very clean, more clean from BBU. Rakan, I think, he disrespected. He was like, okay, Zeri is dead there, and we can just end him and follow the others. He turned his focus on the other members. If he knock up Zeri there, they can just collect everybody else and just push for the next turret. But unfortunately, he left Zeri alive. He was focusing on Lee Sin and Ari, and they were just split. Cap went for the one side, the other part of the team went for the others, and that is the problem in maybe the teams that don't have that experience. If you don't follow up the main engage, you can basically split up and lose team fights on even games.
Yeah, like you said, Zeri had already used her mobility initially there, but Volibear isn't the kind of champion that's going to 1v1 her, no matter how low the HP is, especially with the Blade of the Rune King to be able to kite back even faster than she normally would.
Johnny, Johnny in trouble. He gets a charm, but he flashes in the right time. And he will survive this one, but no flash for him for next few minutes.
Very risky, yeah.
The
Karma's catching waves in the top lane right now, and having one inhib down is kind of okay for BBE because...
nice kick from Lee Sin, but straightly into the wall. The Rakan was knocked back behind, and Zeri, look at this damage. He's just shredding this Volibear. It's like a stuffed animal for him, and what is this range? Why is he hitting the turret behind?
Yeah, Zeri outraging turret right now, and Trinamir is just quite happy to sit with these supers and drag members of BBU over to the top side of the map. Ocean is available now, and this will give them sole point. It will not be contested, but maybe BBU will use this time to get some vision on the top side of the map, clear out those control wards from Villain, and get some control around Baron.
They went 4 men on this Tryndamere and got nothing. They even don't have much vision, and the red team can just walk to this Baron. Like, they cannot start and finish before they come, and this was a big mistake, leaving this third Drake to the enemy team. But Ari is now here. Can she get the charm on Gangplank? No, he misses, and this is the Gangplank damage we were talking about in the early game. He gets the Ignite. This Ari is probably that who will hit him, but no, Kilgo is here with time catch to save the day for a second. Ari gets the damage he can out, but Zeri in the backline still alive. Zeri 1v5, this is your chance for the play to go to the Reddit, but he doesn't go in. He respects them, and they will just look away.
Done a reset, so BB, you can definitely look at starting up this Baron. Zeri's trying to pressure mid instead, and we could see a 3 versus 5 steal attempt coming out of Villain here. They are posturing around the control wards coming out from Lee Sin. We've got Scrying Orbs coming out from BBU to try and figure out where he's going to try and steal this Baron from. Trinamir has managed to make it all the way back over, and the Baron's only on 5k HP, so there's good damage to come out, but it could still be stolen here. What do you think, Shoku? Who's it going to go to?
This is not worth it. This is not worth it for him dying. Like, you have 3 waves pushed into the enemy. What will they do with this Baron? They just deny it to you. Like, you dying here is a big chance, but in the end, Rakan gets it. They get the kill, and yeah.
This is the Rakan gets the kill and the Baron?
Yeah,
Hang on, what's Trinamir doing?
Trinamir, no. This is a disaster. Like, Zeri was doing the right thing. He was just pushing the lane. Bobo is doing the most annoying thing, but most stupid thing.
And yeah, maybe a bit of a miscommunication here. I think you're right. You send the Zeri forward to push. Maybe send Trinamir bot lane to get that wave pushed in as well. And then, sure, if you want to go for a steal with the Lee Sin, that's fine. Whatever. There's no Drake to lose. That's already just died. So you can try steal it. If he dies, just back up in 30 seconds. He's not worth much gold anyway. Give it a go. That's fine. But dedicating Tryndamere there as well. It's just so much time and effort with that. Very little reward.
Yeah,
and the gold swung. The gold swung. It's back in BBU's favor now. Only just. It is only 500 in BBU's favor, and they are still dragging down. But the fact that the gold has swung, 4, maybe even 5 times so far this game is crazy close.
Like, if they get a pick on Johnny, this game is basically over. Like, Johnny is here to carry this team at the moment. If Gangplank gets those battles on the enemy carries, he can turn the tides. But as we can see with this Baron, like, they took half of this Baron just to get to this first turret. Like, I did say
to you, the siege potential from this comp is insane. They only have Zeri for wave clear. That is it. So they could really struggle into a Baron up team here. And no, they're going to opt to just leave. They're going to opt to leave. They have to answer the Tryndamere, so...
Yeah, but they're stopping the recalls. We can see now, for now, only Karma is recalled, and 2 minutes still for this Drake. Even if Trinda dies, he will get in time back. Here comes the Gangplank ult, where he throw it on the bot side. Bobo in a bit of danger, but his team is coming from behind. If he can survive enough, hit his ult, maybe get a flash. There it is from his watcher. He's falling with. Maybe he can get a kill, but unfortunately, the CC is here on him, but they used a lot on him. And maybe if they can follow up, Mami is dashing in, but Mami very aggressive. He needs to be careful. The barrel will not connect. The bullet time is here, but for his luck, the time catch is complete. Mami will go back in. This is basically like a kid. Like, you put him back in the bed, and he just wants to go out.
Yeah, there's Zeri 4 items with a stopwatch to boot as well. Very comfortable to take fights and skirmishes here. And the smite from Volibear to start the Tom Kench recall. Zeri's kind of alone right now. Ari the only one in support, so Mommy's got to be careful because...
I don't know who needs to be careful. Meanwhile, Tamken gets knocked up. Charm will not connect. Those two are in danger now. Another Zeri. They need to get out. The stun is on Tamken. Tamken should die here, and he will. Fresno gets this one. But as we said, from this Baron is basically out, and all they got is one turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, but they did remove the option to be pressured themselves, and what that's able them to do is look at this misfortune now. 7-2-4. Sure, maybe still down in CS, but there's also 4 items like the Zeri now. Suddenly they've got their own ADC on the field, and Zeri's not this unstoppable force anymore.
Oh, Trindamir and Ari are looking for a flank, but they are spotted on a ward. They need to be careful. Their HP bars are not full here. Karma shield is ready, but he doesn't use. He doesn't have his ult. Empowered, he comes a snare on Misfortune. They need to kill him. What are they waiting for? Lee Sin, jump in.
They're very scared, very tentative. At least Sin's got stopwatch available as well, so there's nothing really stopping him from.
The charm is here, and the support dies, and Mami gets the kill, and this is a big advantage now for this Drake. Like, this is a soul point. Barrels are ready, but
They're just going to push mid.
This soul, but
They're just going to take the 2 inhibs, yeah. Like, they see which way you went. They're quite happy to not contest the dragons, and who's the answer? It's GP Karma to answer in the 2v4, potentially 2v5 as Tom Kench makes his way over as well. No, they see the 2 champions. They think they pulled enough over. Can MF and Volibear kill this quick enough? I think they can. Yeah, I think they can. They've got to be quick though, because Lee Sin is on the way.
Ooh, he's close. Lee Sin gets the connect, but doesn't get it. Kapu will secure it, but he's now in trouble. He needs to ult away, but on the other side there is Zeri. He will probably dash over this wall. Zeri looking for engage, but
Ari.
on the top lane, we can see 3 down, and again, 2 shots with this train. Again, he doesn't press the ult, but in the bot lane, his team is dying, and this is the problem. This Gangplank is all this team has, and they are just dying like chickens here in the farm, and Mami gets another one, and this could mostly even be a game if they just push this bot lane. The minions are not close, but I think this Mami will look for more, and he dashes in maybe too much. Knockups gets in from Rakan. Where is the charm? Where is anything? At the end, they gank out. They get 2 double kill for this Gangplank, but Zeri is still alive.
Yeah, Zeri is still alive, and Supers are pushing the Nexus towers now. But I think the Karma going to try save the volley in the MF here was maybe a bit too much commitment. Like, you opted to send 2 back to defend, 2 to do the dragon. You got the dragon, you defended. Whatever you lose now, it's fine. Right, it's fine. You've already achieved what you wanted to achieve. At this point, retain what you've got left, and I think Zeri's overstayed a little bit here, and just the attack speed though from the key.
Okay, I don't think this stopwatch was the best one. Like, he could just save it here. Like, he was pretty much dead, and but he sold it. Yeah, I mean, a new item. It's a 4 item AD carry, so you know it's gonna hurt. But 3 minutes, and either team can get a soul. But before that, 30 seconds to next Baron. If team Villain gets this one, this is basically game, I think.
Yeah, I think for either team at this point, and we could see a fight started instead. The damage trying to be Tam.
Yeah, they don't get Zeri. They need to force this. They need to use this advantage. Nice kick on Gangplank, but can they deliver the kills? Fresno gets the first one, and they're in trouble now. And looks like BBU can show them how they can come back from the from the early game. And Cub now just runs in, and this Ari can just walk away and maybe sing another song from the KDA and watch BBU take the game 1.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic comeback from BBU. They had a game plan, they stuck to it, they let the GP scale up. They managed to avoid the Zeri best they could, but Zeri isn't ready to let go of this one yet, and Mommy is poking away with excuse. AoE, Volibear's trying to counter-engage, but is it going to be enough? I don't think they're going to win the game just yet, Shoki.
Okay, Zeri 1v5 incoming, maybe montage in later minutes, but Baron is up. Will they risk it here?
Well, the last item that Zeri opted for was the Cleaver. So Cleaver, Titanic, like everybody's getting caught and their armor shredded right now.
Ari, you need to be careful of those barrels, and that means Ari needs to recall here, but doesn't have teleport, and the Baron is started.
Yeah, and I think we could see a very late seal attempt, but it's going to be desperate if they do, and this Baron dies really quickly at this point in the game.
They look for a fight maybe after this one. Maybe they catch them. Where is Tam Kench with the engage? It's not close enough. Zeri, do you dare dash over here? No.
No, the vision that they had earlier has been gone for quite a while now. BBU have done a good job of shutting down this on the top side of the map. So, yeah, they're able to slowly reclaim some turf. And maybe with the second Baron, they've tied the kills up. They've got a bit of a 4,000 gold lead. And maybe now they'll be able to push forward and get some work done with this Baron.
Yeah, they need to get a pick now in this both side of the jungler. Like, they have 3 opening hips. They need to use that in their advantage. Trindamir is coming back. He will start hurting a bit much more. He has Infinity Edge now completed, but we see a minute and 15 seconds for next Drake, which can decide this game. You said at the beginning this will be a 25-minute game, but we are 40 minutes almost in, and yeah.
In Champ Select, I said it would be 40 minutes. I did. But the way this early game is going, yeah, it definitely could have snowballed into a 25-minute game. And BBU have done a fantastic job at saying, no, we're staying. We're not letting this one just run away from us. And you said yourself, like, Side Villain have a reputation for digging in their heels. And it looks like BBU are quite happy to do the same. So we could be here all night. And the way this game's been going, I'm quite happy to do so.
Charm will miss for a mile, but as we see, Trinda tries to push us in, but Karma can't defend this, has the empowered minions, has the teleport to join the fight, but Bobo says, no, I don't want to kill the minions, I want to kill you. He will go for a turret dive, flash from the one side, and now the stopwatch, and I think Bobo is in trouble.
Yeah,
he needs
to
get out.
Kill him.
The empowered Q doesn't connect at the end. He will try to get some HP back, but he will just rollerblade away.
Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, though, GPMF are just going to run the game. We've got Volley and Rakan maybe trying to look to stop recalls here, and these two champions will destroy structures in the enemy base at this point. Like, they're both pretty much full build. They are full build, actually. Recalls are being stopped. MFGP are just going to two-shot these towers. That is absolutely disgusting.
Oh, they're not going to win like
measure.
that. Come on.
And, yeah, the Nexus is just going to fall here, and BBU take game one in a very bizarre twist of base race fate. Wow, Shoki.
And these are the calls you need to follow. If somebody says, let's go for this, you need to go for that. Even if you fuck up everything, you need to go for that call. If one of or two members in this team says, oh no, this is not a good call, we need to wait for Drake, and two of them go for this end, they lose the game probably. But if everybody in this team follows it, or you lose or you win with the team, and that's how you need to play.
Absolutely agree with you. And let's look at some of the stellar numbers we've seen coming out of BBU this game. 408 farm on the GP. But then if you look on the other side of the Rift, we've got the Ari in mid with 300 farm, the Zeri's 316 farm, way excelling past their counterparts, and that's where we've seen the bot lane play coming out. And Zeri really tried. Kaisamami on the Zeri was doing so much work, but just wasn't able to complete the 1v5. Eventually the MF came into the game, and big credit to both Ken Fresno and Thresh Princess here, who were able to keep them mental despite having what was a very rough start to this game, getting pretty much schooled on how to play bot lane.
Yeah, as we said, Lee Sin later in the game, because useless, like we didn't see him for the past 15 minutes maybe. He did nothing, absolutely. Ari, not really a great play from him. Like Charms didn't really connect when they needed to, not a lot of damage, and all of the damage was on Kaisamami, as we said a lot of times. On the other side, you had Johnny, who carried his team in the mid game. Get enough time for their AD carry to scale back, get those 4 or 5 items, and come back with the misfortune, and that paid off. And they didn't punish the lead they had early. If Villain ended the game, they should end it in 25 minutes. But they made mistakes, and that costed them.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see what the rest of the series has got to hold for us. But for now, Shoku, I think the players are going to take a much-needed 5-minute break. You and I should probably do the same. I imagine your mouth is as dry as can be with the amount of play-by-play you were doing that game. It was 10 minutes of fight. It felt like it was absolutely fantastic. So hopefully we'll be back in a few minutes and with a game of equal caliber. So yeah, we're going to dip out for now, but I'm excited to come back soon. Hello and welcome back to Valence League Division 1 Winners Round 1 playoffs between Built by Us and Villain. 1-0 to the side of BBU in what was a fantastic back and forth between both of these teams. And I'm excited to see what we're going to see going into Game 2. Joining me for the cast today is a one and only Shoku Geki, who is going to run down the first game for us and maybe talk about what we could expect to see coming out of Game 2 and maybe what kind of changes we'll see from these teams in the draft.
I'm a bit scared for Villain at the moment. Like losing a game like this when you should have won like 20 minutes ago before this game ended, it's a bit stressful, and some players can get a bit tilted from this one. And the first game, you don't want to make a show like this, and the confidence goes out of the window after this game. And what will they do now? As we see, they stay on the same side, red side for them, so they get the counter pick. And first question is, will we see a Gangplank ban in the first rotation? But if they do that, they leave Hecarim open maybe, or some other junglers that Cap can just pick up and do same thing that Johnny did in top lane.
Yeah, it's also worth mentioning that the losing side in VL gets choice of whether they want to be blue side or red side, team 1 or team 2, first pick or second pick, counter picks for the later part of the draft, or priority picks at the start of the draft. Last game, BBU defaulted into blue side, and this side, for game 2, despite having the choice to be able to switch, Villain have opted to stay on the red side of the rift. So maybe they are going to look at getting a counter matchup in top lane and banning that GP early.
I mean, their draft was kind of on point, let's say, first game. Like, they did everything they need to do. They had, like, I think, 2 counter picks, but on the other side, BBU didn't really prioritize any good first picks. Like, I don't think Volibear is that strong of a pick to just first pick it blind, and when there is like 10 other champs that could be first pick, like Zeri or something else. And when they forced Fresno to fourth pick on the blue side, the AD carry was a bit scared about for them, but at the end it worked out thanks to Johnny, because if he wasn't there, this game is over in 20-25 minutes. But unfortunately, he was there, and Villain had to end this game with a defeat and now play from behind, and hopefully they reset mentally, especially from the game 1, and can go in this game like they went in the first game, but they need to close it faster.
Yeah, I agree with you. And maybe having a jungle that's able to get in a bit more easily, like Xin Zhao, instead of this Lee Sin, which he didn't do poorly on, but struggled to get that early pressure in towards like the 12-15 minute mark. Zeri getting banned, that's one change we've seen already, prior to going towards that ATC instead of banning out Gragas. That's changed so far.
Yeah, but they need to pick up Jinx then. Like, if you ban Zeri here, you need to pick up Jinx in first pick, or this Zeri is basically a useless pick. Like, if Mommy just gets Jinx here, okay, it's another hyper carry for me, and I can just do the same.
And the Gragas ban does come through, so a lot of respect being shown for the Gragas. And do we see GP as the alternated pick here?
If Yasuo or Diana doesn't get banned here, maybe it can even be a Diana first pick, and we know that they can play Yasuo, we saw that, and maybe they look for something like that now that Zeri replaced that Yasuo ban, but we will see. Of course, Cap plays Diana in the jungle, and Diana, a Karma band, I don't know if that's the right bet.
Yeah, I mean, Karma was fine. She done what she needed to do, and Kez he played Karma the way you play Karma. He done a solid job of it, but I don't think it was really a problem for Villain this game. Problems were the GP and not even the volley, the Rakan actually. I think I would have preferred the Rakan ban.
I'm disappointed. Why would you pick Volper?
It's a pretty safe pick though. It can't really be just straight up counter pick, and it takes it away from the enemies. But we do see Yasuo. We could see Yasuo Diana pick 1 and 2.
Yes, thank you. Like, this is all you need to do when this is open. And what would they do to counter this? Like, they can pick something like Malzahar meet into Yasuo. Zerat is still good into him because Wind Volley is useless into Zerat. All he can do is his stun. And let's see.
Yasuo is still quite a vulnerable laner. Volibear is pretty good at just running into Yasuo and clicking on him, and hey, you're stunned. So if there's any kind of damage picked in mid lane, like Lissandra, which could just lock him down, Yeah, I actually like this from BBU as an answer.
But does Mami play Yasuo bot?
Ooh,
Because
ooh.
in our team in the Balkan leagues, Yasuo bot is the most feared thing there is. Like one game, they got the Yasuo Diana combo, AD carry got Yasuo versus the best team in the league, and they got demolished. Like if Mami can play Yasuo here, this is they can just counter pick meat into Lissandra and they just won the draft.
Yeah. Yeah, and what we see coming out of the ADC options is Ezreal. So again, a very passive kind of, we're going to stand back bot lane. Kaiser is being opted as the flex pick here.
Yes.
This is looking scary on the side of Villain right now.
Like they want to go in. Like Gangplank ban is incoming now, probably. And another strong top laner into Johnny. Like you want to get rid of those. If he picks maybe Tryndamere now first, I mean they have the first pick, but if Johnny takes the Tryndamere in topside, just take Malphite. And just that's it. You win that.
Irelia is still open right now as well, though, as is Gwen. Like, yeah, Tryndamere ban. I could honestly see Irelia getting picked up if it's not banned here, which I think it very well could be. The Irelia ban coming out of Villain to take that away from Johnny as well. There it is. And the return ban. Do you ban Tom? No, it's
Yeah, no,
Nautilus. They opted a
yeah.
Nautilus. I think Tom Kench would have just been like Ezreal isn't really scared of a Nautilus. Lysandra can ult yourself if you do get Nautilus ulted and negate his ult. I actually think TK would have been the better ban here, for me at least.
I think they were more scared of Kai'Sa Nautilus combo, which is one of the strongest in the bot lane, especially early levels. And yeah, Alistar, that's a telegraphed pick, we can say, for their team. And all they need is a counter for top lane, and this is a great draft for Violence so far. And we'll see if this Kai'Sa goes mid, if Yasuo goes mid, but probably it will
Uh,
be Yasuo mid. And
I'll be honest with you. I would love to see Poppy get picked up here, and then see Poppy flex the top or jungle. And I know that goes away from their usual mantra of having. You could even put it down support if you wanted to stop the Alistar engage. I think Poppy would be really big here. Renekton for the top lane carry.
and just Poppy support. Come on.
Yeah, I would like Poppy. It stops all of the engage coming out of Villain. Braum will try to do that, but his ult is limited, and it's got to be really well timed to stop the Yasuo Diana engage coming through. Plus, like you said, Alistair helping with that Yasuo ult as well.
Akali, I don't think that into Renekton. Nar, it's a bit better, but I would prefer like a Queen here maybe, which is a great counter pick into Renekton. Even Trundle top, I mean Trundle
Even
good man,
Ergoth,
Garen.
Mordekaiser.
But they have
But
a lot of chips put into this Yasuo Diana combo at the moment. Like they want to
yeah,
go in. If their engage doesn't kill half of the enemy team, they're done.
yeah, but the late game options are pretty strong though. Like Kaiser scaling is nothing to be sniffed at, and it has the option to go with the AP build, being that there's a Yasuo Gnar on the team as well, so could have really good poke with the plenty of DPS coming out of the Yasuo. So I don't know. This is kind of close actually. I don't know which team I prefer. Again, BBU have drafted a much easier to play competition. I think if I had to pick one of these to play in, I would probably pick BBUs just because it's easier to play and I would know where I needed to be. But the
I mean,
options out of Vault Villain just seem more.
like Renekton is one of the safest blind picks in the anywhere. Like in the LCK, it's one of the most valuable picks, especially in solo queue. There, like it's a safe laner. It's an early game top laner that can dominate the lane. On the other side, Gnar, if you can wait for Gnar to jump back and wait for your stun or slash and dash with Renekton, like you can destroy that litter monster. But on the other side, Yasuo, Diana jump in. You have Volibear ult that can survive the burst. You have Lissandra ult that can ult herself and not die. Renekton that gets his ult and gets a big crocodile out of himself. And Ezreal can just dash away. Like, if you don't get a perfect combo and a knock up on 3 or more people, it's really hard to follow them.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of build we're going to see out of Ezreal as well, because I know a lot of people do like the crown build, but with
I
how
despise
little,
it.
yeah, and with how little damage there is on the side of BBU, and it's not like they don't have any damage, but it is less than than what we're going to see coming out of Villain. I would like to see just a bit more of an aggressive Mythic coming out instead of that Crown, and getting some really strong backline damage coming through instead.
All I want to see is Cap basically sitting mid lane. Like Lissandra is one of favorite champs to play mid lane. If your jungler doesn't come after your level 3 or level 6 to gank you, like he doesn't know what he's doing. Like you have the easiest setup for ganks. You can just E into them, W, and he cannot move. Volibear follows up with the stun. If you have your Lissandra ult, basically this Yasuo cannot escape. And we'll see if they can punish him. If Yasuo like pushes his wave and Lissandra gets to like a freeze under her turret, this Yasuo, it's out of the game.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, Yasuo is a very susceptible to being ganked early. And Diana, she's not bad at trading, but fighting Volibear pre-6 is going to be rough for Diana as well. You want to make sure you don't get caught out by that jungler early on. And it could just be a duo mid-jungle fight for this game. Top should be pretty stagnant unless Johnny manages to pull off some kind of free trade on this Renekton, which is doable, but I don't think Bobo's just going to walk in and make the same mistake that he did on the Tryndamere. I think that was a one-off. I don't think we're going to see him overstepping the mark on this now like he did with Tryndamere for that first blood last game. That's not something I think is going to happen. Bot lane, definitely in favor of Villain. Kill potential isn't there for BBU, whereas it is for Villain, but it's still going to be kind of hard to actually get on the Ezreal and kill him. So yeah, I think you're right. Mostly the action should be around the mid lane of the map this game, and I'm excited to see these two junglers go head to head again, and see if early on we're going to see a bit more aggression from either of them instead of the more passive farming approach that we've seen last game.
Yeah, plus I want to see what this Renekton goes. If he goes for Flash Ignite to win that early game in the top lane and just maybe split push all game, or does he go for teleport? Because Gnar is one of the champs you need to have teleport. Like you need to get his rage bar in check to get the place, and as we can see, that's a Renekton with a TP, so he can follow up this Gnar. And this is one of the most important things. Can they play around the Gnar bar? Like let's say this is not the top tier of the players. We are all low rank, and not all players can manage that bar. It's not that simple to get it right for the team fight. Let's say Drake is coming, get your bar ready to 3/4, and then just TP and get that Gnar out. And if he doesn't get that, if Johnny forces him to use Mega Gnar before the fight, basically they cannot fight.
Yeah, and it was made a little bit easier by the patch a couple of months ago, where the Gnar ult is almost always up now with the passive as well. So when you're Mega, that ult will be available, and you don't have to worry about that. Yep. And we could see a standard 5-point again this game. I don't think too many shenanigans are going to come out. Whilst you think Brawn passive is really strong for invading, it's more of a counter invading tool I found in the past myself. So I don't think we're going to see too much aggression coming out from these teams. And I would imagine Villain are a little bit on edge right now, being that game down in this best of 5 series too.
Yeah, if you lose another one, it's basically only one game out, and you need to go to the loser bracket. As we said, you don't want to lose the first game in the playoffs. Like this is one of the most important games. Even if I talk with pro players and other top tier players, like this is the game you wanna win. It gives you motivation, gives you that ego boost for the next games that you know you can beat all the other teams in these playoffs. And once you're in loser bracket, you're like, okay, I lost first one. I'm basically doomed. And how do you get that motivation back to your players? How do they play as they played in the first game? And it's really hard, especially for these players. And let's see if they can come back from the defeat from the first game. As we see, Lissandra with shock electrocute, not the aftershock, which was seen in the mid lane, which I even liked. Basically, was a Lissandra that jumped in and survived everything. On the other side, Clans on Kai'Sa, he doesn't have that much mobility as on Zeri, so he wants to move around, doesn't get pinned down, especially from Lissandra, Cap, and Renekton in the top side, and Brown passive, and the exhaust again on Ezreal.
And I find this quite interesting. We've got a blue buff start from the Diana, who will be pathing towards top lane, and we've got a wolf start for Volibear. Solo starting the wolves, so maybe going to look at quick 3 camp on the top side into this Renekton and trying to get an early first blood onto Johnny again. whereas Diana will be full clearing to the top. So it's a very interesting way to do it. And maybe trying to use the fact that Renekton was here to throw villain off the scent, as it were.
Yeah, and the top lane now needs to be dangerous. This Renekton, when he hits level 2, level 3 with his power spike, let's say this early game, he could be really dangerous, and he can show it here. With his proc, he doesn't get it now. There's the damage. The slides and dice not enough. He doesn't have the ignite, so he cannot follow. But that's the power of Gnar. If you don't kill him fast, when he has this mini form, he can just poke you out and follow his damage.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Most Renektons at higher level as well, they typically seem to go for the slice and dice level 2. Personally, especially if you're in a lane like this where you're able to dictate it, I like to go for the W, because then you have your rage. You'll have 50 points by the time you hit level 2, and you get that empowered W, and it's 3 instant autos plus stun, and it does so much damage early on, especially if you're running PTA, which Johnny is on the Renekton. So I think he would have got a much stronger trade out there if he started W second. I'm surprised the Prio in bot lane's going to BBU right now.
Yeah, in the moment Yasuo is holding well in the mid lane, he should have some disadvantages in early game, especially the range advantage from Lissandra, but here we go, Bombi needs to trade early. Like, this is the part of the game when Renekton needs to get ahead. If he just stands behind the top lane, like, he's basically losing that lane in the game. With this champ, you need to get an early kill before level 6.
Yeah, Diana is making her way to the top side through Tribush right now as well. Pinging, probably to say that there's no wards there, so you don't have to worry, but she is walking over the river ward, trying to spot it. Obstacle for the kill instead, but
Bobby's in
doesn't quite
danger.
get it.
Bobby, Obsidian will flash behind him, and that should be first blood for Diana, and that's something you don't want to see in early the game. Renekton done enough first kill to Diana, and another great start for Team Violent in this game, but can they perform better in the mid?
Yeah, that was a surprising decision by Johnny there to opt in to try and get the kill. I guess he figured if I try to run away, then Nar's going to E after me, Diana's going to sit to me, and I probably don't get out anyway. So I understand why he probably went for the kill there, but bit unlucky, didn't quite have the damage, and unfortunately was clipped by the Diana. And great first gang early pressure coming out of Obsidian in this game, which is exactly what we said we wanted to see from both of these junglers.
Yeah, this is what he should have done on Lee Sin. Like, basically, for 6 minutes, he didn't do as much as he did now, and he needs to follow this up. Now, he shouldn't stop just farming and wait for that 6. He needs to use this lead and get advantage on the other lanes. As we can see, Yasuo is just free farming in the mid lane. He's not getting punished in that lane. Like, they have vision on Volibear, as we can see on the top side. So again, Cap, we'll see if he does anything in the early game. In the last game, he was basically farming until level 6, 7, I think, and didn't impact the lanes.
Yeah, and having the Hextech alternator already on Diana this early, along with the Dark Seal as well, you would think we're going to see more ganks, but Diana appears to have been spotted out. We do see pings coming over from BBE. And yeah, the wards
engage from Alistar. Can they trade here? The cowbells will connect with Fresno. The stun comes out, but Killua is now in the danger. Ignite is procced on him, but that will not be enough. Alistar will flash back, and he has the flash out for him for a few minutes, but Hextech Flash is available if he wants to go in again, but firstly he needs to recall and get his HP back.
Yeah, you've got to really respect the Braum passive. Not only do you get stunned up for quite a bit, the proc itself does a fair chunk of damage, and Alistar is no tank pre-level 6. He's got to be careful. Like, he might feel like he's a big scary bull, but right now he's a baby calf, and he won't get chunked down by these minion waves as well if he's not careful. So, lucky to get away with this flash there, but does manage to get the ignite and will therefore have some advantage in bot lane, I think,
that's
with the combat.
A bit dangerous. They spotted Volibear. He was petting mid lane just when ward expired there, and he still went in. But nicely, when the Volibear was spotted in the mid lane, he just moved to the top side of the mid lane and near his jungler, which is a nice play from him. And it looks again, this will be a first Drake for BBU this time in the top lane. Gnar misses his Gnar, which is not likely, and Princess flashes Q but doesn't connect his Q, and this will be not the best trade for them. Kai'Sa, a lot of returning damage. Even Ezreal needs to flash away.
Yeah, that was close. Obviously, Gnar missed his ult down. We're not going to be able to come back with his and chase the Gnar out of lane, so Bobo having to retreat on this one. Meanwhile, Yasuo is regaining priority, and we see It could be a 4-man dive in the bot lane. Yasuo has it already and will happily use the Hextech Pulverizer combo from Alistair to go under the tower, but no, he's going to recall instead, and jungler will follow. So it's just going to be a more passive kind of, let's leave this one where it is, go our separate ways, and we'll come back to fight tomorrow maybe when the weather's a bit better, I guess.
Yeah, I think they saw Lissandra, and you don't want to dive somebody when Lissandra's in the other team basically can just CC you down. In the top lane, Johnny doesn't have a lot of luck on the top lane. Nara was able to escape that all-in and survived, and now can just regen back. Here comes the Mega Nab, get some HP back, and yeah, this is basically Renekton losing this lane at the top lane. Even a CS advantage for Naren, this is not what he wanted in the early game.
No, yet the early sheen coming out of Nara this side, obviously Johnny had that advantage last game, having the early sheen, but Bobo returning the favor and using that early power spike to keep the Renekton at bay and say, hey, I can trade you a little bit if you let me. So Braum maybe looking
supports in the mid lane. Knockup will not connect for Kez. Here comes Kiryu. He doesn't go in. They spot, I think, Braum. I don't think they have the information, but they expect the other support to be there.
Handshake walk away is what we're seeing. Lissandra getting some vision down, and Diana will just go clear the top side now. Will Cub look at this Rift Herald? I think it's possible.
Again, Ian very aggressively here goes in, but he has some help, but I don't know if he wants that. They just want to deny this Herald for now.
Yeah, the alarm bells are going off. They're saying, hey, Cub, they know they're coming. Careful, and there's 3 men now, but priority does fall onto BBU in the top side of the map, meaning Renekton can walk down here first, and if they want this 4v4 fight, they will be the ones to instigate it, but again, I think it's just going to be a nod, how you doing, sir, and both teams will go their opposite ways. Very tentative around these objectives right now.
Again, he misses his ult, but I think they should go for this Herald here. Like, Villain have the Gnar close to Mega Gnar, and they have a Diana that's ahead, and they can use that in their advantage. On the other side, we can see Lissandra doesn't have much mana, and I think they won't win that fight if they go for it, but they decided not to. Both AD carries were not there. Meanwhile, Kai'Sa and Ezreal just chilling in the bot lane, a bit of CS lead for Mami in the top lane. We just see some trades from Bobo to Johnny, but Cap is here. Can he bait this out?
Oh, he stepped too far on the volley. He's going to get the engage, and it's a free kill. It's a free kill. Just go over to the volley bear, which isn't really ideal, but he should be able to transfer that. And we see Alistair looking for engage in mid.
No, Cap doesn't connect. A nice slash on Kez, but he comes back with his own ult, and now Yasuo is in danger, but is he? He has a lot of damage on Lissandra. The wind will block selects the damage, and Yeon will survive this. Even the ignite is on him. He goes back, but why did you go back? You have 3 stacks of Braum on you. Here comes the Braum ult. Doesn't connect the flash from Alistar, but he goes back. Now here's Kai'Sa. The Mami gets his first kill, and what is happening in the mid lane?
Oh, the live on a Yasuo. Well done by Yeon to be able to pull out a kill there. The turn from Kez
Diana. Nice pull. He even steals the Herald, and now Volibear is in the trouble, and this can be a huge lead. Mami. Why did Obsidian take this? Okay, Obsidian.
Having the ADC roam up here and be able to get involved in these fights has been huge for Villain. They've been able to not only get the gold on the Kai'Sa, but also be able to make sure that these fights do go in their favor as well, picking up that Rift Herald to boot. So that's going to be more pressure, more turret plates going over their way, and maybe be able to stack a bit of this gold lead up now and make up for that early dragon that they lost. Speaking of dragons, it's going to be Mountain next, which means Infernal Soul, Cloud Soul, and Hextech Soul are 3 options for game 2. Which do you think you would like to see most?
I think BBU is hoping maybe, I mean, Mountain is out, so that's the perfect one for them out. Hextech couldn't be bad for Ezreal, which is really annoying when he pokes you with his Qs. On the other side, still Infernal is one of the strongest one, I think, for the enemy team. I mean, team Villain, I think they will love that one. And now it's on this Diana. He has the Proto Belt, and he needs to use this advantage, because if he doesn't, AD carry will flame him for taking those kills.
Yeah, right. You need to make sure that you get some work done. But, you know, it's a Dark Shield Diner as well. So we are looking for Obsidian to utilize this gold anyway. And hopefully we'll be able to see some more good plays coming through. As Jasper stacks his Q and not proving quite fruitless. Alistair has loved the mid lane this game.
Renekton behind. He's looking for a flank. It's a 2-on-2, 3-on-2 if Volibear joins this, and Yasuo could be in danger. I think he has no way on escaping this one. He needs to die here. Why is he not dead? Now Johnny gets the first kill, but now this cow is in danger, and all they're gonna take it's a stake from this cow. Renekton is gonna kill it and eat it up. Probably a well done stake for him after they burn them so much, and that's a Drake up for BBU probably.
That's double kill onto the Renekton, which is actually really, really big right now. So he's going to be able to maybe use that gold and teleport back top already. So he's not going to spend the gold just yet, but he'll be able to fight against this now a bit more. The 2 plates go over to Obsidian as well, because Rift was used, but that's all they got for it was 2 plates. They still lost the fight. They still lost the Dragon, and it was actually a poor use for the Rift Herald. So yeah, they got the steal on it, but they didn't get too much out of it. So kind of rough, to be honest. BBU having a good turnaround.
Johnny goes for trade and kills him with a Q. Gnar didn't expect the damage, and Johnny was sitting on 1.3k gold, and he still killed Gnar after that.
This is why I was saying earlier, and I don't know why a lot of Halos do it. I'm a big Renekton fan, a huge Renekton fan actually, and I think using your empowered on your W.
Yasuo comes in, the Proto Belt comes, Ignite will be enough. Yes, we get that kill in the mid lane, and they needed that to respond to the Renekton solo kill on top lane.
That was huge. Yeah, using your empowered, your rage on the W instead gives you so much damage, especially since you've been doing PTA Renekton for quite a while now, and it procs your PTA immediately, so the Q damage is amplified so much, and we see a pause.
Yeah, Cap is having some problems with the internet. I hope he comes back soon, but that explains some of his plays today. Let's hope he will be able to connect. But for now, Diana 2-0. Yasuo already got 2 kills, has almost 30 CS advantage on Lissandra, which is not something you expect in the mid lane. On the other side, bot lane, Kai'Sa is really thankful that she roamed for that Herald with a kill and assist and even a CS lead for now. And we need to see more from Fresno for now. Like, he didn't do much, and he basically didn't join any fights, and he needs to prove himself still from the game 1.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just really happy that we are seeing a similar game to game 1. The kills are dead even. There's fights all over the board. Early Dragons going to one team, and with another team still being ahead despite that. And it's good to see. And there'll be a little bit of a spectate delay here as it resyncs up with the game, but it should continue soon, I believe.
The old lovely Riot clients, lovely spectator.
Okay, and we're back in the way.
Yeah, but now they need to be careful about this Renekton. Like, Gnar needs to play a bit more defensively. Like, he has 0 damage at the moment. He needs to respect this Renekton. Even if Volibear comes, he's in trouble, and they need to play around this Yasuo and Kai'Sa. They're the win condition. All Gnar needs to do is be a mid shield for them.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just got to be a tank, stand in the way, and he's going to be able to do that. The question is whether he will be able to match the Renekton in the side lane later on, because Yasuo, despite how big he gets, does not fare up well to Renekton at any point throughout the game. Renekton's on-click abilities do too much for Yasuo and stop him from being able to move around and use that mobility so much. So it could be a pretty strong 1-3-1 coming out of BBU towards the late game, actually. I never even really considered that in champs. Like, Renekton and Lissandra in the sideways could be huge. But we do see a play attempt coming in bot lane, maybe, as 4 members of Villain are heading down here, Shoku. Who do we think is going to make the play? Do you think Diana or Asta go first?
They will go, but flashes are up. Everything is up for the bot lane of BBU. Can they get out of this one? Yasuo comes in, gets the pull on Braum, but they want to kill Ezreal. First, they get the knock-up. Here's the ult from Yasuo, gets the first kill, and that will be all in the bot lane. But meanwhile, Lissandra pushing mid, and this is pretty much all they get from this investment. Looks like the bot turret will not fall, and it's not really a lot from what they invested in.
Yeah, 2 flashes in and the exhaust burned from the bot side of BBU. But they used a lot, like you said, on the side of Villain here. Not just time expended, but also the Yasuo ult was used, the Kai'Sa ult was used, Diana ult was used. All of that engagement now can't be used elsewhere on the map. And we see a return gang coming. No, Mega isn't in just yet, so he's going to be stunned up, locked up, and died. And there's not even going to be time for you to jump in on me on that one, because he just falls over. And that will likely be first out going to Renekton, I think.
So basically, Lissandra W into Renekton W into Q from Cap into Lissandra ult if you want to add. Basically, you have like 15 seconds to kill somebody.
Yeah, I'm surprised that BBU didn't stick to that tower and make sure they got that. I suppose bot tower did fall. So yeah, I guess first tower was already gone. That would make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah, Rift Herald coming very soon. in just a few seconds. We'll see if they will fight for it, but this Renekton at the moment is huge and they need to be scared from him. Maybe they can still burst him now. He's not that much of tank yet, but it will be really hard, especially with the Diana Yasuo combo. Now they can use it, especially when the bot lane doesn't have their summoners up, and if Diana catches them, Yasuo can just follow up.
Yeah, True Shot Barrage being used from Ezreal to help shove this wave in and maybe return that bot tower death so that they can move around to the mid lane. And of course, Villain's bot lane is already rotated and in the middle of the map, leaving Yasuo to farm bot. So Rift Tower priority does go over to the side of Villain, and they could really look at testing that early and trying to get some pressure down on the rest of the map to then turn that into Drake and push this lead forward. But instead, the Yasuo's sitting here waiting for Diana to turn up, and maybe they're going to try this 2v2 in the bot lane as Diana comes through the river looking for a flank on this double flashless bot lane, by the way.
They need to get those kills or they will be too behind. Ezreal gets knocked up, but Yasuo was stunned. He was not able to ult. Unfortunately, he was able to survive everything. Frezon doesn't get the kill, and now Kai'Sa should be getting this kill. Mami is here to pick it up, and yeah, Mami will get that kill, and that's 2 easy kills that they really needed to really come back. But 10 seconds to Drake, that will be a first one and a soul point denier for BBU.
Yeah, and they will trade the Rift for this, but 2 kills and Drake definitely outweighs the value of a single Rift Herald. So they have to be careful how much they're prepared to give away into this Kai'Sa, into the Yasuo, because eventually these champions are going to come into the game and they're going to be scary. We've seen what Kai'Sa Mummy was able to do on the very last game. Never mind the champion that their account is literally named after. That would have me a bit more cautious about giving so much gold over to Kai'Sa Mummy in game 2 here.
I was really hoping for a repeat dive on bot lane. They have information there on Herald, and if Kai'Sa and Alistar walked here, Yasuo still has ult, Alistar has ult. They could just kill Ezreal, Braum again, take another turret on bot lane after they take that Drake, as we just saw, and punish the enemy team. But now they can be punished in the top lane. Bobo is in danger. Here comes
two
big tanks, but Obsidian is here to stop everything.
Okay, so 2 big ults used, and they walk away. They walk away.
And the water away, water.
Yeah, a lot of smart passive decision making. Lissandra clearing out the spot wave pretty quickly though, and Everfrost comes through.
He gets the ult, he gets everything, he gets the damage, but the shield ball will save Yasuo for now. Ignite is popped, hits the nut for Kens. Can he survive or not? Stopwatch will be used here. But Kens dies. Amazing. Yasuo waited with his flash. Now he needs to get out of Cub's way. The turret is on the minion, and
Gion on the Yasuo has been so good.
Oh, Cup with the smite, and I think he gets it here. But Yasuo tries to survive for a bit. He gets the minion now to dash away and just annoy this Cup for a bit.
What a frustrating champion. He's going to hit for the knockup as well.
No, he doesn't go for the suicide in the end. Shutdown for this Volibear. Not the best guy to get the shutdown, but...
It denies the assist to Kez as well, though.
But on top lane, this is the power of the Diana Kai'Sa Yasuo combo. You can just follow each other up, and another shutdown on top lane. This is much more viable shutdown now on the other side for the jungler.
And what we're seeing from game 2 from Villain here is much what we needed of game 1. They're moving around as this death ball. They're moving around with the damage, with the carries, and making sure that the lead is being pushed on all parts of the map. We're not just leaving the top lane at the solo farm and then 1v5 the game later on. We're going to make sure that we get the picks around the map and then turn that into objectives maybe. Baron is up in 30 seconds, and at the start of the game, it spawns at like 13,000 HP. It's really squishy. So with Yasuo being this far ahead, with Kai'Sa having, nearly 2 items already, like this Baron would die pretty easily. So I think setting up around the Baron at this point in the game could actually be devastating to BBU if Villain are able to pull that off with their already existing 5k gold lead, nearly 6k.
What I want to see from Villain now is put their vision deeper in the jungle. Like, you have champs that just want to wait in the bush for the enemy team, and that is what they need to do. To get a pick before a team fight starts, to get rid maybe of 1 or 2 tanks, or even 1 damage dealer that could just tip the balance in their favor. But on the other side, we can see this Herald is used in the mid lane. The second Herald not that strong as the first one, but TP behind for Gnar. Gnar is on 0, and this is 0 rage bar. Gnar that comes in. Can they get a knockup? They get the Kai'Sa gets the first one. At the end, they get the first one. The Renekton is down. Can get another one. Yasuo gets the third one. Double kill for Kai'Sa, triple kill for Kai'Sa, and they're just smashing around the BBU. And this is what we wanted from the Villain in the first game, and that's what they're doing in the second one.
And that's 5 straight kills without a single loss for Villain. They're going to head over to the Baron, take it up and leave Nart to push the mid lane. Absolutely devastating flank from Diana to hit 3 people with that ultimate as well. And it just gave them so much time to get in the right positions, let the Yasuo get his Q ready, lay the ult on top. And honestly, there wasn't really much BBU could do here. They were left without any vision, without a pot to piss in, as we say in the poor parts of the world. And all they done was walk in, get engaged, and out of those bushes, like you said, that Villain were looking for, and they made it look so easy. They played their comp perfectly, and they are potentially going to look at closing this one out by the 25-minute mark with this 10k gold lead that they've got racked up here.
Yeah, it's a Hurricane finished for Kai'Sa. Yasuo waiting for that Infinity Edge soon in his back, but they need to use this lead. We saw the last game throw a lead away. It wasn't as huge as now, but still, it can be lost. We saw the first game. Everything can be a comeback for BBU, and now it's time to prove it. They don't have a gang plan that can just one-shot the enemy team. Renekton cannot do that much, and he will not be that strong. Very much more, he will become a mid-shield, and we can see Renekton just tipping out, and another pressure from Villain here in the bot side, and they're just taking advantages.
Yeah, they're making sure they move their vision around the map now to look at this dragon. Lissandra's going to get picked off here, though.
He has so much damage, and he will pick up this kill. Lissandra will survive all of this, but now can Yasuo clean this up? Knock up on Brown. They will not use his ult. They know they can clean them up, and Yasuo will get the second kill, and they can just open the base probably here.
There's actually so much damage coming through from Villain's side here, and I'm really worried about whether Ezreal's going to have enough damage to return fire, because right now Renekton has lost his point of being the power spike in this game. He can't get to this backline to do any damage without being butchered immediately. And of course, we see Black Cleaver coming second out of him rather than the Death Stance, which probably would have been, hindsight obviously withstanding, a bit more optimal, but given the state of the game. But obviously, we went to know that's the way it was going to go. And maybe some anti-heal. Maybe some anti-heal coming out of BBU could help them delay this game a little bit.
And Ezreal will soon finish his Muramana, so that's something for him. But he still didn't upgrade his boots. He's still on the boots he got from his runes. On the other side, Lissandra only on one item. Even the second one will be Zonia for her, and she will not do that much of the damage in team fights. We know Lissandra needs a bit more. She's basically a CC bot in this team fight so far, and he needs to use his ults on himself. That was the problem in the last 2 team fights. He was not able to get the picks with them. He needs to use the ult defensively.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky. And if you look at the goal differentials across the board right now, it's only 7,000 in total for Lissandra, but Yasuo out here with 11,000, Kai'Sa with 11,000, Diana with just going on 11,000 as well, and it's definitely an uphill climb for BBU right now.
Denied knock up on Renekton, and he will just become another pair of Lacoste shoes here. Probably Obsidian will take those and maybe sell them on eBay. Now Cub wants to come, maybe make a rag from this bear, but he will survive everything. Gnar, Freeman ult from here, and this is what they wanted. Kai'Sa comes behind with his ult, gets the cleanse, he has the QSS, you cannot stop this Kai'Sa in behind, gets the double kill, doesn't get the triple here, maybe he does, and triple kill for this Kai'Sa. Mami is online, and Cub is offline. That's an ace, and that's a 22 kills for team, and probably an end.
Genuinely nearly 1 kill a minute. They done everything they needed to. They got the early pressure. They moved it around different lanes, took objectives with it, got picks, kept the bot lane behind, shut the Renekton now, took Baron, siege top, got the pick, took the kills, ended the game. Where was this game 1, Shoki?
And exactly, 25 minutes. This is exactly what they had to do in game 1. And they showed that they can do this in this second game, but now they need to do this 2 more times.
Yeah, they do, and that does just tie the series up 1-1. It was a pretty quick game, but I imagine the players will probably still like to take a quick 2-minute break. But man, this performance from Villain was really, really clean, honestly. Their early game still had a couple of bumps along the way, but once they got things rolling, the comms were definitely a lot better this game than game 1. You could tell they just moved as a team.
Like Obsidian did what he had to do. On Lee Sin, he was not spotted. But third game, if I see Cub again on Volibear, I'm gonna rage quit. I swear. Like they need a proactive jungler. If he's just gonna stay in the jungler, this is gonna happen again. And we said Cap is one of the main carries in this team, and he needs to step up and show that. Like you cannot do that on Volibear, especially if you don't have Pry on all the lanes, and you can just constantly dive the enemy team. And if they need to pick a carry, I mean damage jungler, or they will lose another one.
Or at least put some damage in the mid lane. You've ran Karma game 1, Lissandra game 2. Sure, it worked out, but it was still close. And then you only really came back in game 1 because Villain kind of let you. They didn't really push their advantages. We need to see a damage source coming from somewhere else right now. And that needs to either be, like you said, Cub in the jungle or put Kez on something that can do damage as well. Because right now, having double utility mid and jungle and then utility support, you're just struggling in these early to mid games too much to be able to take these skirmishes and take these quick fights and get those one-shot kills that you really need at this level of play. We're no longer talking about Division 3 or Division 4. These aren't silver and gold players. These are like plat 1 to diamond players for the most part. And if they see a champion that can be one shot, they're going to one shot a champion. They're gonna lay that damage. So we need, like you said, we need some more carry to come out.
Yeah, and this is what I want. We are seeing game 3, we have a red side VBU, a change finally in the third game. They need a counter pick maybe for one of those laners. But before that, I think we need to take a break, take a deep breath, get something to drink, maybe get something to eat. So take a little break, folks, and see you in a few minutes.
Yep, see you in 2, guys. Hello and welcome back to Balance of League Stream 1 Division 1 Winners Round 1 playoffs between both Bios and Villain. Currently, Villain have just tied the score up to 1-1 after a pretty convincing game. Honestly, it was fantastic to see them use that Yasuo Dino and move around the map. I am today joined by Shokugeki, one of the most experienced, talented casters to be part of the VL roster. He does things all over the world, but specifically LAN events in Slovenia, branching a bunch, many different games. So we are blessed by his play-by-play casting and just general knowledge of League of Legends today. So Shoki, can you break down the difference between Game 2 and Game 1 for us, and maybe what we're going to see coming into Game 3 as an adaptation from BBU?
So game 1 was Villain turning their brains off after 20 minutes. Second game was not turning them off. That was basically it. Like, if they did the stuff they did in second game, in the first game, when they were pressuring the lead, Diana was just jumping around, Yasuo somehow was winning that mid lane, bot lane went even in the early stages, but the Kai'Sa roam to the Herald made the big difference in the bot lane. And the top lane, basically, Johnny didn't have the great carry on the gangplank in the second game, and Renekton cannot do that much. Like, he's a single target champion, that's it. And even in the backline, when he tried to get it, like Kai'Sa had QS, had clans, like, you will not stop that Kai'Sa from running around like Zeri did in the first game. And what do you do now? What will they ban to Kai'Sa Mami there on the red side this time, BBU? And do you ban now Diana, which you need to deny this combo Diana Yasuo, but then you ban Zeri, then you ban Kai'Sa, and everything else is open? What do you do then?
Yeah, honestly, I think we just need to see an answer out of the bot lane. I would like to see maybe Return of Rakan or even like a Lulu or Janna. So something enchanter based that's going to stop the early deaths coming out of BBU in the bot lane. And I don't think they're entirely to blame for it. They were getting 4-man last game, and it's not exactly their fault that they were dying to these 4-man roams. And Villain was starting it really well. But something to try to give them a bit more survivability whilst the rest of the map makes the pressure around the top side, because that is how BBU like to play their comp. So an aggressive jungler out of BBU, maybe like you said, get rid of this Volibear, show me what Cup can do on something with a bit more damage in the early game. Let me see if he can snowball and take hold of a game by the horns and really push himself into a victory for the team.
Okay, listen to this one.
I'm
Give the
listening.
bot lane of BBU Sona Seraphine. Get
Oh,
a hyper
God.
carry top lane. Get a jungler on the carry and just heal them up. Let them throw in everything. Put maybe a Nuriana on mid lane, and that's it. Like, that is all you need. Like, let's put a cap on a game that he can do something. Like, let's not put him again on a jungler that will farm for 20 minutes and just watch the enemy team win everything. Viego, okay, ban, still like one of the most powerful junglers at the moment, which I don't know if they could ban, but now they need still to ban Diana and Zeri. That's it. And then Jinx is open, Kai'Sa is open, which we saw. And Yasuo ban. I rather see Diana. You can still play Diana jungle if Yasuo is out.
Yeah, I agree, but I think Yasuo was more of an issue than Diana for the team in general, though.
Yeah, and at the end, Gangplank banned, which is respecting. They don't want another blind pick from Johnny. I think here they know where the danger is, and they will deny that. And now let's see, what will they prioritize? Maybe even Kai'Sa, Varus. Interesting.
I don't think they're going to prioritize. What? Oh my god, I'm wrong. They just blind pick Varus first. Well, I've been curveballed. Okay.
I'm looking for my scripts, but I don't see them. This is not in my scripts. I'm a bit confused.
I would see Varus as a counter pick into the aggressive Zeris and Kaisers, because you have the ult, you can run back, you can use your E, you get some poke, you don't have to actually straight up trade. But yeah, it advertises a free Hecarim pick, and why wouldn't they take it? We finally got Cub on a champion that's going to want to dive and gank early, and he's going to do it into a Varus who's very immobile, can't move, can't really stop it. And hitting a Varus ult on a Hecarim that's coming at you, probably with the Chem Tank, with Ghost, maybe even with Predator, well, at least 2 of those 3 things, it's going to be really difficult to do. And that Varus, you better have something that's going to keep him alive.
Like, Varus is the moment, most you can give him. It's like a C tier AD carry. That's the most that it's at the moment. And Maybe they swap it to the mid lane, something like a Varus poke mid. Even AP Varus was something that you can see in the mid lane, but they need to have something prepared with this Varus. And now if this, okay, Obsidian with
The
Lilia, that's a
GA.
lot of team fight, fight, damage and CC. J stop, it's something you need to be prepared to play top lane. Like you need to be comfortable in playing it. If not, you will just get destroyed top.
Yeah, I'm really concerned as to okay, Alistair makes more sense to me. But again, he can't actually stop the Hecarim engage
Zilean.
if Hecarim leads with the ult, and then the E follows through afterwards because that's how that transition of abilities works.
Please do it. Do it. Do it for me. Pick that Zilean. Give me the speed horsey. Come on. I believe in you.
Zillion Hecarim is terrifying.
Nah. Okay, it's a Braum. I mean, still, Aphelios is something that you play in the team that wants to go into, and that's Lilia and Alistar at the moment. Braum gives him some defensive versus Varus poke, and Aphelios, if he survives all of this initial engage, like we know Aphelios can just 200 years when people jump on him and kill everybody, but he needs to survive, and Fresno didn't have that luck so much.
But why are we moving away from the Rakan though? I understand maybe with the Varus you want to block a Q or two with the Brahmi, but I don't know, the Rakan seemed to do really good. I think in game one, it was a very effective champion for breaking up these team fights, and I don't know. The Braum pick's not bad, but I'm curious why it's being prioritized.
Yeah, but at least take Trash if you don't want to take Zilean. Like it's better with Aphelios. You give him some escape with everything.
And the zone
Come
Thresh can present with his ult is crazy.
Kez, you're not that guy.
Okay, Morgana mid for Kez.
Come on, don't do it.
Sure, it's another utility mid laner, but at least she brings a little bit of damage to the fold. No, it's Veigar. This is much better.
Yes. Do it. Yes.
Okay, okay, we've seen damage. We see damage come out. Finally, we can see Kez, and he's still got those scaling options. It's still a Veigar. He's still going to scale into the game. But the zone potential right now for keeping this Aphelios alive is crazy. All we need is something that can follow up this Hecarim. That's what I'm looking for out of the top lane from Johnny now. Your Hecarim's going to go in. And everyone else is going to try to jump on the Aphelios. Braum's going to stop them. Veigar Cage is going to come in and stop it. And we're going to see a really tough time. And Graves isn't going to be able to do it. He's not going to be able to walk through those things and get to this Aphelios. He's there to try and keep this Varus alive from the Hecarim engage. So you need to pair something with this Hecarim when he goes into that backline that's going to get the job finished. Because he isn't going to be able to solo kill some of these champions. And I don't know what that's going to be. Are we good? GP's out. Gwen's out, Jax is out, Trindamir's out. Do you see Renekton into Alistair? Possible. It's Lily at top by the looks of it. It could be Graves top, actually.
Fiora, maybe. Like, I don't know, he plays, but Renekton is still good into Graves. He can, like, just dash out of his smoke screen, but Vladimir counters Veigar. Let's say you can just W his cage, W his ult, everything he throws at you. So Varus will be AD carries as far as now we know that. And that's Camille, another strong top laner, which was not banned. And this is what we wanted. Carries on the top side and the mid.
This is the adaptation we wanted to see from BBU. And the thing is with this game, as you can see from ProComps, which is a sponsor of Valorant League on your screen right now, the later into this game it goes, the more insane the scaling becomes for BBU side of the map. They have great engage tools with the Hecarim, with the Camille, and they have okay disengage with the Braumel again with the Veigar cage. So they have good options there. Whereas it's kind of just I don't know what the side of Villain are actually looking to do here, Shogi. I mean, they've got good poke with the Varus. They can use the ult to start a team fight or try disengage the front line. But other than run around in a circle and do a little bit of damage over time with Vladimir and Lilia, and again, Graves doesn't really one-shot people. What's the plan of their draft here? I don't fully understand it. Do you have some kind of insight as to what they're going to be looking to do?
Like, I don't know, like Camille can easily stick to Graves. Like he has one dash. Camille E is basically longer 3 times longer than Graves Dash, can just follow him up and kill him in the lane.
Camille, he can go
It's-
from this game to the next game.
Yeah,
Like,
basically
that
it's
thing can move.
Vladimir show again, I think. Like Vladimir still, if they go scaling, Vladimir, if he scales, we know how scary he can be, and he has a 5-man ult. On the other side, you have a Vega who has a single target ult, and that can maybe change things around, but Varus, he needs to get those piercing arrows on point and hit everything. And if the BBU team gets poked out, they can then use the Graves ultimate and everything, Lilia balls to like damage them more and just take the turrets and just teach those. But they need to hit those skill shots, which were not very reliable in the later games.
Yeah, so probably going to see kind of a poke style zoning area control ish. Get away from us, don't engage in us, uwu kind of style coming out of villain here, which is going to be a bit awkward because BBU are looking very much to go in. And yeah, Vladimir does have the ability to dodge most of that engage. However, one thing that his pool does not dodge is the Vigar ult. If the ult's already been clicked on him before he pulls, then late game or not, you can't dodge that ability with the Vladimir pool. It will still go through and deal the damage. So I'm a bit skeptical of whether they're going to have enough on the side of villain here. And I've been wrong before, but again, it looks like BBU have drafted a bit more of a traditional composition, and villain are playing to their own kind of drumbeat, and it worked for them game 2. They play fantastic. So I'm excited to see how this one unfolds, and I think this could be the first game where we see an invade as well.
Yeah, and the other side, like, who will protect this Varus? Like, he had two, maybe a bit more mobile AD carries in the first and second game, Kai'Sa and Zeri. Varus has zero mobility. Like, Alistar, it's the only protector for him. The knockback, it's all. And if he headbutts Hacker him away, still Camille is on Varus and Varus is gonna die. Veigar just cages him, he cannot run. Braum can jump on him, he cannot do anything. Like, Vladimir wants to go in, Graves wants to fight, they don't want to protect their AD carry. And again, Vladimir in the early stages will not do as much as Yeon did in the first 2 games. Like, he will probably not get it as much of the lead he had before and can't really impact side lanes with that.
Yeah, I'm really I don't know, I hate to be a naysayer, but I'm just concerned. However, if Obsidian does get rolling on Lilia as well, it could be difficult for BBU to deal with. Like, they don't really have too much outside of Camille who can lock this Lilia down if she's able to run around these team fights and willy-nilly put damage on people. And she hurts. She hurts a lot when she's out stacking that passive. So I think we need to see early pressure from both of these junglers towards the top side of the map. And whichever gets ahead first, this Graves or this Camille, could dictate the rest of the game, I think.
Yeah,
And
but they need to get that early lead on Lily, especially. We saw Cup. If he gets Hecarim, he can perform, he can counter jungle, he can do everything in his power, in his arsenal that this champ can. And this is what we wanted. Camille, as we see lately, top laners don't use flash anymore. Camille has Ignite Teleport, and Graves is in danger in top lane.
Yeah, the early pressure from Camille as well with the second cast of that Q doing pretty much true damage. It's disgusting. And the range part of the W slowing people down as well. So Graves could really struggle to get away from Camille if it's a good trade option. I mean, it's definitely going to be a bit of a skill matchup. And again, I don't want to write Bobo out. He's performed pretty well so far, matching up against the powerhouse of BBU in the top lane. So I definitely don't think it's going to be a free lane for Johnny on this Camille. But I think some jungle intervention from Obsidian is going to be required to make sure that lane goes a bit more smoothly game 3 here.
Yeah, and on the other side, we see Kez with the Predator on Veigar, phase dash on Hekan, which I don't like it that much. Even when I spoke with our challenger, like let's say Hekari, one of his favorite junglers, he still prefers Predator, gives him more of the pressure on the sidelines, but others prefer this phase rush on this Horsey, but we'll see how it goes out. Do you have the same bug as me so far?
Yeah, I do, but you can just click through. Just click through to the 10 and we'll do our sync.
Okay.
Okay, and yeah, whilst a lot of people like the traditional Ghost on Hecarim as well, I am very strange and I don't run Ghost on Hecarim. personally, because I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. I like to stick with the flash. Maybe it's because I'm a Lee Sin player at heart, and I like to do the flash insec, I guess. But yeah, phase rush has always been a go-to for me, so I can respect it, but I can see where Predator just kind of does the job for you.
When we were describing the blue team comp, it's a virus with press the attack.
So it's going to be Crit Virus.
Yeah.
But I don't know, at what point in these team fights does Varus get to stand still?
No, he doesn't. He shouldn't.
Yeah. And then if you do, like, you kind of die. This is rough. Cleanse again. For me, I think I opt for ignite on the Alistair and exhaust on the Varus here to stop that Hecarim from coming in. Kind of similar to what we see on the BBU side, because the Hecarim's got to come gunning for you, and you can't stop it. So that exhaust to help keep them off is really helpful, especially if
face check. But just a W from Camille, that's all. So he starts with a bit of wave clear, easier than the Q. But again with Varus, we saw BBU like forget about the enemy AD carry in the both of their games. Zeri in the Drake pit, he was like untouchable. Kaisa just running around, and if they were not on the same page again, the game 2 can happen again.
Very true, yeah. For the first time in this series as well, we see both junglers start on the same side of the map, and it looks like both are going to be opting for a full clear. So the double ponies will be clearing bottom to top, and maybe looking for the first gangs to be in the top side of the map, as we did ask for. And they could turn up at the same time and see who gets the counter gank, see who goes straight for the kill. The thing is, when you're doing this kind of clear, Hecarim will likely skip Krugs before the gank. Whereas Lilia has cleared the Krug, so he should be there first, and that could be the changing factor, honestly, in this bot to top pathing for both junglers, I think.
I mean, they have great potential to get first blood on top lane, especially Graves if he pushes in. Usually he does on top lane, and Camille with Ignite can just lock down these Graves. But unfortunately, he doesn't connect with his W. But they will spot Hecarim on top side now. A nice ward on his red buff, so they will have the information he's there, and Graves needs to step back again.
Yeah, both ADCs, of course, opting for long, so 3 bots as well. We've seen aggressive trade coming out of Camille.
Yeah, he gets his passive shield. Ooh, he threw damages the minion at the end. Doesn't get the hit on Graves, and Graves wins that trade.
Yeah, but the Ignite potential as well is obviously huge, and that's an early cheater recall coming out with the Graves here. He's probably been told by his Obsidian jungler saying, hey, listen, I'm in the top side of the map. There's a chance Hecarim is too. So if I was you, I'd probably recall now and avoid that gank from happening. And yep, he's going to pick up a longsword, a couple of pots, a pink ward to boot, and then head back up to his lane once it's been reset by the Camille.
Yeah, the problem was only the Graves minions didn't hit the turret yet, so it wasn't the best cheater recall for him, but he will need to work with that. He's coming back with a longsword and a pink ward. Meanwhile, Hecarim is trying to get the top scatter. Iria will just be happy with the bot one, full clear from both sides of the junglers, and now bot lane for BBU needs to be careful here.
You said yourself as well, though, if Camille is able to get a lane frozen, then it could be really, really awkward for Graves. And what we've seen is, like you said, a not so good cheater, and the wave state is a bit awkward right now, but we do see BBU pathing towards the top side of the map.
Nice from Alistar. Can he get the stun? But again, Alistar is not tanky again, and he forgets about game 2. But look at Mami. He's doing a lot of damage. A friend zone flashes Q and gets the first blood. And now Princess is in trouble. Who will get this kill? She needs to die here, and one more basic wall's enough. And here goes a double kill for Varus. And if he gets a head like that, the crit Varus can hurt.
Yeah, double kill over to the Varus immediately. Lilia making the presence known on the map, getting involved in this kill. Of course, the slow hit is really...
Bobo. Nice trade, but Johnny would just waddle away and survive this one.
Hecarim's here now, but hey, you're 4.5 minutes late. I guess he tries to freeze the wave for the ADC, but that's not really going to matter. Like, the wave's huge. It's a kind of wave anyway. The Aphelios will be here in time to pick up that XP. Again, Exhaust didn't come out. Flash didn't come out. They could have lived in this bot lane if they just committed to leaving. Hey, we've been caught out. Let's get out of here. But I also, again, think that if it weren't the Braum here and maybe you had Rakan instead, Rakan lives here. The knock-up stops the engage from Alistair, and you get to just leave.
Yeah, Hikari meanwhile was spotted again on both sides, and I want to see some action on top lane from these two. Like Camille Hikari machine is completed, and Camille hurts like a truck now. Like he needs to pet the top lane after he kills this lovely wolf, and now starts to go to his top side jungle. But again, a good start for a villain so far, and when we saw Kaisa Mami what he can do if he gets ahead in. But this is not that mobile of a AD carry, so he needs to be more careful than the first two games.
Yeah, and Aphelios again is kind of similar to Zarya in the way that you don't really do much until you've got that first item. You can't even really trade that well. So it might look a bit unfortunate for them right now, but despite the 2-kill lead, there's still a 10 CS advantage going over to the bot lane of BBU here, and Ken Fresno quite happy to take that farm and keep the pressure away from them, as we see maybe some action in the top side of the map.
Hikarim was spotted in the river by the ward that just expired when he was there. Lilia for some help in the top side. A big wave coming for Graves, and that's usually when you want to dive the top laner, but unfortunately they decided not to do that. So Graves will just pick up all the farm he wants and get that CS lead.
Yeah, the vision from Villain here, they know exactly what's going on. They seen the pink ward pixel brush in pixel brush, seen the Vanguard roam, the ward in the dragon pit lets them know that hey, the dragon started, and there's gonna be 3v3, and Brahm's already practically dead.
Nice knockup from Alistar, gets the solo kill on Braum. At the end, Hikarim is coming to help, but what can Fresno do? He's in trouble, he's stuck behind everybody, and now Yeon is in trouble. Camille will not get the knockup, but Kaz knows how to press and win this team fight. Nice knockup back with Alistar, but not enough. Kaisa needs to do everything, but doesn't have enough damage, so Cap will survive this one. Obsidian comes, Obsidian with a nice flash Q, does some damage on Hikarim, but the Horsey will survive for now. Unfortunately, Camille will not, and that is 1-4-2 at the end for Team Violin.
Yeah, I actually don't think that the play to do Dragon here was a terrible call, but just the vision control from Villain, letting them know exactly what's going on. And I mean, early Dragons can hit. You don't have items yet. You don't have your base stats. You're only a level 4 Braum, and it looks like we had a pause. So we're gonna wait for that to play out.
Those were some long arms from Lilia.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a bit of a. I like the attempt from BBE, but the vision from Villain being able to really punish, and that's why they say vision is OP. It is genuinely the strongest thing in the game.
Yeah, which is disappointing that level 1 we see zero vision from either of sides to get information on junglers, which is like really important in start of the game. Then you can basically predict every move the jungler makes. On top side, we see a swap with Vladimir and Graves for a minute, but he will go back to the mid lane to face that Veigar that has the Predator ready, the magic penetration boots on first recall, and we'll see what he can do with that.
Yeah, I really want to see more action coming out of both of these junglers. Only really had two ganks so far, and one of them was actually a team fight around the Dragon Pit rather than an actual gank. So I want to see some more pressure coming out of them as we see very strong Varus poke is coming through into Aphelios.
Oh, nice trade from Camille here. Hits everything he needs to. Though the shield from his passive will, of course, win the trade for him. Graves not fortunate enough to break it fast enough. So Camille just enjoys this punishing top laner.
And personally, I'd like to see a Gale Force come out of Graves, but we'll probably end up seeing Shield Bow and a flash from somebody. It was the Hex Flash from Alistair. That's what that noise was.
Yeah.
To clear that up.
Looking for engage. Meanwhile, again, Herald for BBU early in the game, which we saw in the second and first game. We'll see if this time they can get it. In the second one, they weren't enough. But here goes Killjoy with his Alistar. He's 6, he's tanky. He can tank everything. And now Kaisa, Mami gets the first one. Can he get another one? Princess is in trouble. And that's a double kill, another for this AD carry.
Yeah, and we said it last game too. Alistair isn't tanky until 6, and then he turns into a truck. And yeah, everybody knows that Alistair Dive is going to come as soon as 6 hits, and that's what happened here. Double mobile bot lane, and there's not really too much you can do to answer it without your own ultimates available, and unfortunately, they just weren't. It wasn't the right set of guns for Aphelios to be able to return fire either, so kind of well played from Villain, and just using this pressure and punishing the fact that Hecarim isn't coming down here to try help out the bot lane at all, actually. Like, I want to see more from these junglers than just farming, and that's what both of them are doing. They're just farming. Like, why are we not just seeing Hecarim Udyr every game if this is the case?
I mean, Obsidian is just happy. Your bot lane is winning, doesn't need to do anything. You can just easily farm, stay even with the CS with the enemy jungler. Meanwhile, bot lane is 0-6 and the Q doesn't connect on Kaz. Now he gets the sleep. Bobo is maybe here trapped. Cap is on him. Now Camille comes. Hextech ultimatum is on him. Locks him down. Hecker with the ult comes over the wall. Horsey and the end. The one click that wins the game.
The one-click go-away button, as we like to call it. But Alistair keeping this fight going on to Camille already. His team have decided to turn around and heck him, though, so this is kind of a messy one overall. And
You're dead.
Shoku, I don't know what's going to happen next.
Poop. The horse is dead. Some horse meat for Yeon. He will enjoy that horse burger. And another kill for him. It's a 2-1 Vladimir. It's a 4-1 Varus. And this game is, again, getting out of hands for BBU.
The one kind of grasp that they still have, though, is that the gold on BBU is in the Vigar. It's not in a Karma. It's not in a Lysandra. It is in a Vigar who can return fire, as we've seen in that fight. And he managed to get a pick on the Graves over the wall. He managed to live in this fight, which is kind of huge as well. And the damage coming out of Vigar towards the mid part of this game can actually delay the game enough, maybe, for Felios to catch up if that's indeed what needs to happen.
Yeah, but Bobo, we can see he can trade with Camille now. He has the sustain and tries to trade with the Camille when he pushes the minions into his turret. And Alistar again spotted. Here came in the river. Here comes Lilia, but she was spotted on the pink ward in her bush. Again, knock up on Alistar. Where is the other team?
Alistar actually got the scuttle crab there.
Oh, and Flash. Flash again, from Braum.
A little bit of disrespect. I mean, why take the risk? The smite was up. The smite was up for Kobe. Could have just smited away the scuttle. Instead, he loses 115 gold over to the Alistair and the Vision of the Dragon, which is about to spawn as well, which will be Ocean. So again, no Ocean Soul available. Instead, we'll see Infernal, Mountain, or Hex. And I think seeing Infernal coming out for a team that wants to poke as much as Villain does could be terrifying.
Yeah, we'll see how they use that. But Kraken is finished for Varus. Protobelt finished for Vladimir, 2 big items for their carries. On the other side, 0 completed items for BBU, and Hekarimin looks for something, but there is nothing to go on.
Yeah, he's a little bit scared to commit. Maybe like you said, if he had the Predator available there instead, he would have been able to go in, but Lilia finds him in the jungle, and Alistair's coming over to this one too.
No Bambi spoilers for now in their jungler. Again with Alistar looking for a nice knock up here on enemy AD carry. Can he get the kill? He gets the stun, but Braum shield denies a lot of damage. But here is Lilia, and they will just finish it up. This is a Bambi on steroids, and a double kill for Lilia.
And another double kill in the bot lane, this time going over to Obsidian on this Lilia. The gold differential already up to 4,000. It's going to be Drake number 2 going their way as well, without anyone around to contest it, really, from BBU. And honestly, Villain are starting to look like they're running away with this game again. Like I was trying to say, Vigar's still an option for them. Hecarim's not in a bad spot either, but they're taking it in turns to get double kills in bot lane right now. And BBU need to do something to stop the bleed, because they can't allow Kaisermami to just have another free game where they sit there, get all the gold, and then 1v5 in the mid game.
Oh, and they will even deny this Herald. I think it was running down for Hecarim, and yeah, he will not get the charge. And before the plates are down, this basically Herald went to nothing.
Yeah, this is kind of tragic for BBU right now. They're being denied gold, they're being denied XP. Maybe the best thing they could do here is leave a Felios to fend for himself in the bot lane, put up some defensive wards and say, cool, I'm off, I'm out of here. Let Braum roam the map, maybe get the Camille rolling, get some kills on the Graves. Maybe turn into vertical jungle.
Solo kill Vladimir on Veigar. Maybe the proc of ultimate comes, but not enough. The stun on the cage comes on Vladimir, but no kills in the mid lane. Meanwhile, look at the difference in gold in the bot lane. Basically, Varus is just destroying these Aphelios, and I don't see these Aphelios coming back soon.
Yeah, and the difference in gold is insane for the supports as well. It's 2k for the AD, 2.6 for the ADC, going on 1.5 for the supports, which is quite a lot in support terms. And I don't know who's going to be able to get through and kill this Varus at this point in the game when there's so many other damage outputs as well on the side of Villain. Johnny, again, is winning the skirmishes in the top lane as Camille, but isn't really able to do much more than win a skirmish. And
but can he even win this? Graves has ultimate. Can he finish this up? He needs one basic on Johnny. Where is the dash? Not on cooldown. Here it comes, but not in range. So Bobo will not get this kill, but maybe what is Camille doing?
A little bit of an ego flex. Maybe look to get the EW ult into the Ignite. Guy is here with the
Bobo,
Predator though, and we'll put the Graves in a cage, but no, opts to leave this
but
one too.
you know
So,
what just happened? Did you watch the Disney film? We don't talk about Bruno,
oh my god.
but we don't talk about Kiloga this game. He was 100% kill participation before this kill. Like, he has 9 assists and 1 kill. In 10 of 11 kills, he was there. Like, we are not talking about this Alice at the moment. In the second game, he a bit effed up in that engage before he 6, but this game, he's another cow.
Yeah, absolutely different beast, so to speak. And between all of them up, there comes the Varus that we mentioned. And look at the damage as well. Ult, of course, instantly stacking the W proc, so the Q can then pop them. And so much base coming out of that Varus. Crit Varus hits a lot if he's able to stand still. And by God, you can't just walk up to that and ignore that they exist, unfortunately. It's looking kind of rough on the side of BBU right now, and they need to find answers somewhere, or at least, like with Game 2, find a way to slow down the pace of the game, because they're falling behind at a staggering pace.
This is a dead Camille incoming. Alistar is here again. Lilia will pick this up, and yes, this is not a top laner that was 2-0 gangplaying in the first game. This is a 0-3 Camille, and every other lane is behind. Cab is looking for something in the mid lane, but look at Mami damage. It's a nice flash from Mami, and this Kai'Sa Mami is basically undestructible this game.
Yeah, I mean, when Hecarim can't 1v1 the Varus, you know things are going rough, and it was close cup through everything he had into it, but the perfectly timed flash from Kai'Sa Mami as well, really making full use out of everything available for the Varus and getting the kill done. And it did force a TP, I guess, from the Graves, but I mean, that's inconsequential when you consider just how big Kai'Sa Mami is now. Look at the shutdown gold available across the board. You got 400 gold for Lilia, 150 for Vlad, 450 for Varus. Obviously, plate bounty golds up on the towers as well. They've got 2 dragons with mountain due to spawn, so it's going to be a mountain soul. And BB, you need to find a way, and this could be it.
Oh, this could be it. Johnny follows up with Hex, the ultimatum. Nice flash from Bobo. He traces a lot of damage, but Hecarim is coming now to the bot lane. Bobo has no help, and he should die here. He will pick up this kill at the end. He dashes over the wall, but here's the other part of the team. Bobo is still alive. He's a tanky man, but at the end he will fall. Johnny picks it up, this one. But in the meanwhile, nothing else happens for the villain team. Maybe they will now move to this Drake, but now is the question. We saw 2 pictures from this team. The first game when they were ahead as now, and they just mess it up. And the second game when they just stomped. Yeah. What is this third game?
Well, the thing is as well, what happened in game 1, they had the 2 dragons, they were ahead, and then they lost it for the Drake number 3. What's happened here is Bobo's been picked just before the Drake's about to spawn, so BBU should be using that to try set up around this dragon, and then get themselves on the board with those mountain Drakes in preparation for the soul point later down the line. But it looks like they're really late on the resets. I don't think they can.
Do they even want to contest this one? Just stand behind, farm for next soul point. The mountain, yes, I mean, Alistar has mountain, doesn't have, he's still tanky. Graves even tankier. It doesn't really impact them that much. If it was like in Inferno, that would be much worse, but maybe this is the best of the worst case scenario for BBU, if the soul point is this mountain. But what can they do? They just need to scale, and that's it. If this Aphelios doesn't catch up to Varus, it's game over in the top lane. We can see Bobo trying to one-in-one Kez. Kez just wants to run away.
Yeah, big damage come out of Kez though as he's kiting back there, and that's one thing that BBU do have in their pockets. The ace in the hole, so to speak, is the on-click, go-away, primordial burst, I believe it's called.
Horse is here, Bobo is in trouble, but Bobo, can he die? Bobo survives everything. This is the Graves top lane. He's basically a tank with the damage.
The shield bow plus the stacks of grit, making sure that Graves doesn't die here. Braun, meanwhile, being killed under his own tower through exhaust as well. Camille's next on the chop block. I don't think the flash is even needed from Yeon there, but he uses it to make sure the kill comes through. Eventually, Talos falls on the mid tower as well, and it's all falling apart around BBU right now. Their castle made of sand has got cracks and there's water leaking in, and I don't know what they're gonna do to fill those holes before the walls around them come crashing down. Shoki, everywhere on the map they're losing right now.
I don't know if I can say on stream what I will do with those holes, but they're doing the game too. That's it. They need to continue with this tempo. You need to keep the pressure going like they did. Hecarim is just looking for any farm that he can fight. Like, his jungle is empty. He's 20 CS behind Obsidian, and the enemy carries 8-1 Varus that's sitting on 10,000 gold. Vladimir with 3-1, 4-0 Lilia. I didn't like this comp. I still didn't like it. You can really punish it, but BBU is just not doing it.
Yeah, if you tell me at the start of this series that we're going to see a first pick Varus game 3 after a 1-1 start to the series, I would tell you to go and do something irrational to a duck. But man, they have made it work, and they have made it work in droves. This Varus is 8-1-3, all the while Killog on this Alistar has been everywhere on the map. He's been dropping flies in the top lane. He's been dropping flies in the jungle. He's been ganking mid. He's been still in the bot lane helping out his ADC. Like, Alistair, this game has been everywhere, more so than the junglist for either team as well. And I think we just haven't seen the proactiveness that we needed from Cub to force Obsidian to match him on that. We need Cub to put Obsidian into the ganking test, make him match him, make him counter gank, throw off his rotations. Because right now, you're letting him just free farm, and his team are just winning every lane.
Johnny, just run if you can. Luckily for him, he will survive, but Bobo is not scared of this Veigar. He has damage. He's tanky enough to survive all of the burst, and he will take this bot turret, looks like, but Veigar does some damage, so he needs to be careful. And Kilogan again with his Alistar goes aggressive. Does he get the stun? Yes, he gets the stun, but that's all he gets. He proc the ultimate. Can they maybe get a Camille? That's maybe a bit positive here, but Johnny has the attack on Titan moves, and he will just move out.
Veigar is chasing Bobo away in the bot lane. But I think, yeah, Bobo's very confident that the shield bow plus the crit stacks plus another vampire coming out, he's able to take this Veigar based farm back up and quite happily sit in the side lane there whilst his team just take over the rest of the map. Are they gonna do the Baron?
Yeah, this is the difference from the first game. Remember, both top laners were without TP, and this is what now they can do. They can just put Graves in the bot lane and just force them on Baron. And here he comes.
Yeah.
Hecarim, you're gonna die.
There's no vision starter. Ult gets all the way over the wall.
We don't talk about Kiloga anymore.
Return Hecarim to send there, and that's what they done. He went from the Baron pit to his own Nexus, and they're going to keep chasing this one down, maybe looking to get some kills and then turn that into the Baron.
Again, Kiloga gets a double knockup, but no follow-up. Nice cage from Veigar, but Chain of Corruption get a Braum. He gets down, and yeah, that's another pick for them. And
yeah, the Chain of Corruption is only a snare, so it doesn't stop Braum from using his glacial fissure, but yeah,
just beautiful.
Flash forward from Navarus to make sure the double kill comes over. Veigar, the only option really to leave the defense to right now, and I don't think he's going to be enough. All in engaged.
Destroyed. This is our house. This is our space. This is our dance floor, and they're showing it. Cap tries to run away, but poop! Here comes the Vladimir who wants some blood, and he gets it. And this will be another 25-minute game, well deserved.
Yeah, and it's going to be another 22-5 in the kill board as well, probably, unless they opt for caution on this one. If Helios is due to spawn, maybe they back out, go take the Mountain Soul instead, bit of a safer option. And then come back to close this one out on another day. That does give BBU another chance at a team fight potentially to try and delay this game out and play this one a bit slower, maybe get a pick, because right now Varus has got QSS as well as his cleanse, as his stopwatch. He's got Kraken, he's got Borg. There's so much damage and survivability coming out of Kai'Sa on this Varus right now that you have to find a way to make impacts maybe around the map that aren't aimed at the Varus. Like, you've got Camille Hecarim, you can make picks, you can kill you can pick a target on the enemy team and kill it. You can. You have that damage, you have that engage, but you just need to find somebody that isn't maybe this Varus with the Alistar stuck to his heel and get your kill there. The Graves is in the side lane. Go 3-man the Graves. Yeah, you give up gold somewhere else, but at least you're getting something on the map for it rather than giving away Mountain Soul for nothing.
Yeah. And they're just doing nothing. Like, Hecarim is just walking to check that Baron. They cannot do anything. Aphelios needs to defend mid lane. Meanwhile, in the top lane, this could be a bounty one for Bo, but luckily Cage will save his life for now. But that's a Mountain Drake for team, and they can just move to the Baron, take it, and finish the game.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much maybe you can do to stop this. They've got players all around the map right now trying to get a gold and not get picked. The vision is lackluster, but again, their own jungle is scary to go into, so I don't really blame them on that one. I don't want to walk into this Alistar or into a Varusol or into a Lily asleep. Like, there's so many terrifying long-range CCs that they have available for them on the side of Villain here that BBU don't really have an answer to get in. They just have to kind of let the Baron go down, let the Mountain Soul go down, and weather the storm if they can. Camille maybe getting the spot tower to get some bounty gold over before the fight happens, and it's going to be rough and it's going to be tricky. It's definitely doable if if Villain overstep a little bit and somebody gets picked out, but it doesn't look like we're going to see that. The game 1 mishaps, the game 1 mistakes are not coming through in game 3. This is very much a game 2 resurgence. We're going to see a replicate of that in some terms, and they're playing very much as a team, very well coordinated compared to game 2. And I don't want to be the guy who says there's no option here, but
Okay, please explain me, how do you kill this virus now? He has Zonya. He
yeah,
has
right.
a Zonya. QSS, Zonya, Cleanse. How?
Yeah, and
Like you
you
need
can't.
a PowerPoint presentation, but it will still be like 30 pages long how to get to him and maybe kill him in 30 minutes. Like, impossible.
Yeah, it's there's nobody really on the side of BBU that can do that right now. All you can do is send your Hecarim in to die. Send your Hecarim into Varus, keep him busy, keep him occupied. Sure, he might proc his Zonyas. That's 2.5 seconds where you can't kill him, but he's not killing anybody else either. And then you can try pick off some of the other champions on the side of Villain, but they're also big in their own right. You've got a 10-stack Medjai's now for Vladimir. He's 3 items pretty much. He's got a stopwatch available. You've got this double lifesteal Graves in the top lane who they're finally trying to get a
Zero
pick on,
damage.
but
Zero
yeah,
damage.
damage isn't there.
Like, this Graves is tanky, he has damage, and meanwhile, his team is just finishing this game. They can just watch BBU Nexus explode. Camille tries to do anything, but he doesn't have damage, and this horse, he can just gallop around and die with this piercing arrow, and here comes the Zonya. They're just playing with their food now, and at the end, they maybe get a kill. No, they will not get Kai Samabi. He survives everything. That's a 12-1 Varus, and 27-minute game, and well-deserved another win for Villain, which is coming back from 0-1.
I want to know what Villain took during the break after game 1, or what their coach said to them, because the team that we have seen for the last 2 games is not the same team as we seen game 1.
Yeah. Like, the BBU plan, I think there was too much scaling. You had Aphelios, you had Veigar, which are useless early. Camille fall behind, and that was basically it. If Camille falls behind early with this team comp, you cannot do anything. Hecarim couldn't gank any lane. Bot lane just solo lost 2v2 2 times, and the difference was made.
Yeah, it just seemed a little bit too hard for BBU to get things rolling. Same as game 1, the game that they won. It was really difficult for them to get things rolling. They need to find a way to bring the team together and stop the bleed from pouring out all over the map. And I don't know what the answer to that is. Maybe we should see something like a Galio or a Twisted Fate mid. Someone who can get around the map a bit easier, right? Someone who can match the micro, because right now that's what's happening, is they're being out macroed, sorry, and they can't just allow that to happen again in the 4th game, because it's costing them in the first 15 minutes, and they're losing the game 10 minutes later because of it.
But we were talking before we started these games today. The top side from BBU, it's amazing. We expected more from Johnny. The last 2 games, there was not much from him. On the other side, the bot lane from Villain just popping off every game. Their AD carry, unstoppable, basically untouchable. And if this continues, this is the guy that will bring the win for this team.
Yeah, I think so as too. I think you're right. You're spot on. And the fact that the carry for Villain in the bot lane has been able to just take over every single one of these games is pretty intense. I'm really tempted to, if I'm BBU, to maybe flip the switch. And I know that during the regular split, this is how you've played, this is what's worked for you, and you're in playoffs and you want to play what you're comfortable and you're used to. But why not put Johnny on a more utility-based champion? I know you kind of look at your top lane and you want to play around it, but let's just put him on a util-based champ. If there was ever a time to flip the script and do something different, it's playoffs. It's when you're on your back's against the wall, you're 2-1 down in a best of 5. You need to catch the enemy team off guard and do something different. Ken Fresno is not a player that is bad at League of Legends. He's an ADC that can play ADC. Like, give him something to carry with and play around it. Maybe play around Kez a bit more. Give him a Victor or a Corki, something that can get more involved in the team fight to do some early to mid-game damage. Like, let's do something different than, hey, let's put a carry in top lane and play it that way, because it's just not working.
So you're saying we need to see Seraph in a Sona bot?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Show me Draven, dude. I want to see a Draven game.
Yeah, right? But I want to see, just pick Shen top. Like, and then
Yeah,
force their bot lane to always have that pressure that you will be 3v2 bot lane if Shen comes. Like, Shen is one of the best top laners at the moment, and you cannot deny that. And if they use that, if you have a Corki with a package that can just run around, or Twisted Fate, those are the champs that can break a team that has good communication. If they're
yeah.
just off for a second, you can surprise them and maybe win by that.
Give me Shen, give me J4 jungle for early ganks, early pressure, and a way in to stop people getting out as well. Give me the Corki mid or a TF or a Galio, and then give me an aggressive bot lane. And let's see what we can do, because BPU have to mix things up right now. Otherwise, Villain are just going to steamroll them for game 4. And I don't want that. Game 1 was such a fantastic watch. I want that again. And I think BPU are going to have to change things up. But for now, I think we should definitely run into a quick 2-minute break, guys. Let the players stretch their legs. You guys should do the same, but we'll be back in just a few moments with a game 4 in the winners round finals. Finals? Winners round 1, not finals. Hello, and we are back again with Valence League Division 1 Winners Round 1 between Villain and Bill Players. I'm joined by Shokugeki, my fellow co-caster and caster extraordinaire, and we have been having a banger of a series so far with a 1-0 start by BBU, but a 2-1 return coming out of Villain to put them in the lead and maybe give them a way of closing out the series and moving on to the next round. You've said yourself, Doku, that winning this first game in the playoffs and not dropping onto that loser's bracket is absolutely huge for teams in terms of mental and being able to keep that going throughout the playoffs and getting yourselves to the final. Do you think that there's anything in particular people you need to look for in Game 4 to ensure that they are making it to the fifth game in this best of 5?
I mean, as we talked before at the end of the last game, maybe try something on the bot lane, get on that Shen, maybe look for a third pick on the red side top laner if you want to play around top lane again. If you can get that Irelia in first rotation, take the Irelia in third pick, then ban to counter picks in the second duration of bans, but that plan is out of the window now, so Irelia is banned. Unfortunately, two main case for Johnny are now out, and let's see that bot lane now. If they can play around it, they didn't play any of those games so far around them. Maybe that is the recipe for the win this game.
Yeah, and we see Alistair being banned. Obviously, they're sick of seeing that for the last 2 games, so they're going to remove Alistair. They're
Viego
keeping with
is
the
open.
Gragas ban and Yasuo ban as well, staying from game 2 also. So Gragas being the only consistent ban they've opted to stay for. And Varus first pick again.
No. Yeah, take Zeri.
You've
Take
got to
Zeri or
assume that
Viego.
they have an answer for Varus, and that's why they left it. But
Yes,
now
I
it's
like this.
Viego.
Yes. Like this needs to be. If Viego, it's not banned, you need to first pick it. Basically, just unstoppable. If he can get rolling on, you will not stop this jungle. Obsidian was looking fine, except the first game when he was on Lee Sin. If he can keep up that performance and
Back to the Volibear for Chubb. Something a bit more traditional and standard maybe that they're used to, and might be looking for something a bit more simple and just kind of stick to what they know works for them at this point. Ziggs flex though.
yeah, Ziggs flex and still.
Both Ken and Kez do play this champion. You could go to either lane there, and I guess that could have been the potential answer to Varus being able to return the poke and maybe not get snowballed through these lanes a little bit too much, and that could be why they've opted to take the Ziggs here and leave the Varus open, and obviously it was Viego we seen come, but
Yeah, and
interesting.
let's see if Varus, maybe just pick Draven here. Draven is great into Ziggs in bot lane, but that would be Varus so poke versus poke if Ziggs turns out to go bot lane. But what will they pair it with? Tam Kench, yeah, I think that's a good pick if they go another protection for Varus, not engage as it was Alistar in the last games, but a combo we used to see a lot, especially when the old Tam Kench, when he had Devour on 10-second cooldown, now a bit less, but I think they should go for it in the end. It's Gravestop, and now let's see if Johnny has anything to play into it.
Yeah, what would you take into Graves here? I mean, he obviously had trouble killing it, so
Renekton, Fiora, something like that. I don't know what he can get. Maybe Jax. I mean, you deny a lot of his damage with your counter strike. I mean, E on Jax. So again, we're playing around top, but that's a lot of scaling on top.
yeah, but it does also, like you said, give him the option to come into this late game, and if somebody can stop Viego, I mean, Jax is actually an option for that too. With like you said, the counter strike being able to remove a lot of that DPS trading too. So
yeah, but if Jax falls behind as Camille did in the last game, this game is basically doomed. Like, if they just play around this top lane, Viego, Graves, and shut down Jax in the early stages, I don't see them coming back. Like, yes, you have Ziggs to like turtle for a bit, but even if he doesn't have the items early, he cannot wave clear that much of the minions, so they need to get some items. And now we're looking for a support pick here, so the Ziggs stays as a flex pick for their team. But what do they pick here?
yeah, I'm really interested to see what kind of answer we're going to see out of mid and or bot lane here, and what support we go with. But I don't think it's going to be Blitz. Bard is an option. Okay, Bard it is.
Okay, even more turret dive potential now with Bart and Volibear.
Yeah, you got 2 ways of turning those turrets off, and a good Bard player to match the roams that we've seen coming out of the opposing support.
Yep, I think this is Pantheon support.
Yeah, yeah. I think was the Pantheon planned or was it an answer to? Is the question.
I think it could be planned. It was kind of fast lock-in for him, and I mean, still he's good into Bart. You can just jump on him and delete him with free abilities. If you add some piercing arrows from Varos, this Bart is basically that. And Victor Fujion, not such a flashy champ for him this time.
We could
More
see
of
Kaisa mid here.
okay, you like those. You
It's
like
Twisted
those.
Fate.
But that's a lot of AP, and now really, if Jax falls behind, this game is doomed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're really going to try use those globals to get. Sorry, excuse me. Those half globals to make up for the macro roams, and if they're able to punish the group rotations that we've seen coming out of Villain for the last two games.
I want to see some Dopa TF mid now. Do you know how Dopa is?
Yeah, I know what Dober
Okay.
is.
Like, I want to see some Dopa montage play from Kaz now. It's time for Shine. And he needs to, like, go on top lane, I think. On bot lane, if they get lead on Ziggs, Bart, yes, they can maybe run around and take some turret. But if you can get lead on Jax on top lane, basically just snowball this game.
The thing is, though, as well, having the Ziggs into Varus, it does make it a bit more risky for this Pantheon to be able to just leave lane. Sure, Varus has a fair bit of poke himself, but Ziggs hurts and can quite easily punish a solo AD carry without being too susceptible to the ganks of Diego. But I guess we'll just have to see how the teams are going to match up this time round. We see a lot more damage coming out of the BBU composition than we've seen in the last two games. Counter picks coming in for top with the Jacks as well. Ziggs as the change in bot lane. Okay, we're not winning the traditional ADC matchup. Let's move away from that and try something different. I like that we're seeing a change and an alternate plan from BBU here. It might not have been what we were 100% hoping for, but at least it's something different. They're obviously comfortable with it, and I like the potential that we're going to see out of BBU's new looking team draft here rather than what they've done the last two games and just stick to what you know. It's nice to see a change up here from them. But is it going to be enough?
All I'm seeing now is this Viego chase potential. If he
Yeah.
gets those resets, if he gets the TF,
can cover
goes
the
into
map.
gold card, gets into Jax, gets his jump into stun, gets the Ziggs to jump again, like this Viego, if he can just carry this game if he gets the early kills, maybe some items, and just snowballs it. But on the other hand, this team is pretty squishy. Like
Yeah.
Graves, we saw, okay, he was a bit tankier, especially with the soul and everything in the last game. But you have Victor, Varus, Pantheon, which is going probably full lethality build. He's not going to tank. If you go tank, just go play Fortnite or something else. This is not a game for you. But they want to go in, kill you fast, and just go on. Like, if these fights go longer on, you're doomed.
They are, you're right. But what we've seen out of Villain, and they tried this in game one as well, they just have multiple options to carry the game. Bobo can get fed and do it. Yeon can get fed and do it. We see him do it on the Yasuo. Obsidian can run through games as well. Kaisamami consistently just taking that lead and just butchered BBU's bot lane over and over and over again. Like it was a butter knife through cake. It was insanely easy to do. So yes, sure, they're squishy and they may be able to get punished here and there, but as long as one or two members of this roster are able to get some gold under their belt, it could just be absolutely devastating and game controlling. It's whether BBU are able to control where that gold is going and if they can contain that snowball while still getting advancements around the other part of the map that we see. And hopefully, with the TF ability to join in those fights, should help. At least I want it to help.
Yeah,
I
we
really
know
want a
how
game 5.
TF and Shen works. Level 6 is the deciding factor. If you're ult, get something, it's okay. If you get nothing, you basically a CC bot from there on.
Yeah. And we'll probably see the Ever Frost build come out anyway, so I imagine seeing a CC bot wouldn't be out of the question, considering that so far Kez has played things like Lysandra, like Karma, so more trying to get picks around the map rather than straight damage coming out of mid lane. But I mean, they don't lack damage this time, but they do need the Jacks to get rolling, otherwise they could, like you said.
Yeah, probably we should see a spellbook on TF, which is the usual one so far on him mid lane, but we'll see what he decides. And yeah, what can he do on the top lane? Let's see. Twisted Fate, yes, it's the spellbook for him. And
we do see the TP Ignite again coming out of a Johnny Monaby on the top lane, opting to not use flash. He's playing Jax, so he's got the Q. He can ward hop with that, and it will give him a slightly more pressure in that lane. Plus, we know the Graves from Bobo last game like to go double lifesteal, and obviously the grievous wounds from Ignite will assist with that.
And Halo Blades of Varus.
Yeah, with cleanse as well. So we could see a more AP style burst damage coming out of Varus this game. AP Varus is viable, and Hellblade stacking up those W blight stacks for you pretty quickly can let you get some viable trade out as well. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think both supports are going to roam a lot. Ziggs should keep bot prio. Mid lane is kind of rough for Kez. Victor's so strong and not. He can be punished by Volley, but again, at the same time, TF can be punished by Viego pretty easy. So top lane Kingdom, maybe. The support roaming could be the difference. Kellogg roamed so much last game and was fantastic. So it's whether Quest Princess can find the capability to match those support roams, I think. The KP from Kellogg was insane.
So especially when I play Pantheon support, what I want to do is get that level 3 in lane and just go around with the jungler. Just go around in enemy jungler. You have a lot of CC with Viego, amazing combo, and you can just punish this Volibear over and over again. Or just go meet, punish Twisted Fate, kill him again and again. Like, you have so much potential with this duo. Just walk around and kill everybody.
Yeah.
But at the moment, we need to wait a bit because problems Riot again.
Yeah, Riot Games. Riot Games, small indie company, we're having troubles getting into the game just now, guys. So we'll be able to jump in soon and give you the great content. For now, we will. I'll just keep trying to get in through the loading screen.
And again, we see Victor. I think it was Airy for him. I saw a lot of Victors playing the first strike lately. A bit of difference for him, but luckily I think we could get in game soon.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about just how out of control this game can get compared, like considering the last two have done that. We'll just have to see how it progresses, and we are just getting into the game now. I think we'll probably see a standard 5-point.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so we can start maybe decisive game. What do you think? Silver Scrapes or not?
Hopefully. I would like to see a Silver Scrapes. Honestly, I need to see BBU come back just so that we have a similar games that we did to game one. I don't want to see a clean 3 games in a row, which honestly is what we've seen so far. Both teams looking to invade opposite sides of the map here. This is it's crazy how both teams have suddenly decided to invade when for the first 3 games neither team invaded. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I'm just looking at this invade. What's happening? The most awkward invade top lane ever. But let's go. But unfortunately, Nova will be spotted here. Even this sweeper will not help. And we see Kies is ready with his gold card, but unlucky for them, the enemy team is on their blue buff, so they will just exchange information and recall back, and nothing will happen even in game 4.
So many pings all over the map. Hey, they're not here, they're not here. They could be there, they could be there. Panic waiting. Stations. Oh, Graves is going to check it. And if he doesn't want this bush, this could result in first blood early going over. And he wants it.
Oh, no. Okay, good. Good for him. He gets the information. They get the ward. But they know they are here, and they will know that the blue buff will be gone after Jax gets a bit delayed in the top lane. And let's see Obsidian. If he splits the map here, will he go for the enemy blue buff? There is a ward in the big Sabrush in the river.
Will.
Yeah, and Viego is going.
So we could see some vertical jungle, and Volley quite happy to take the full topside camps as well, assuming that because he was spotted, the vertical jungle is going to happen. And this could be really interesting because Pantheon early game damage is pretty nuts, but Ziggs, if he levels that W early enough, will be able to survive from what could be vertical jungle pressure, whereas Graves is quite squishy early on, especially before that shield bow, and if Volley decides to get involved in this topside matchup, this Jack should be rolling before we know it, and early trade comes in.
Yeah, the power of early game with Pantheon, here it comes, and the poke with Varus. The only thing I hate about Pantheon, when he walks like this with the spear, you almost think like he's charging his Q.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he's already thrown it back, but level 2 comes
He
in.
gets the stun. In the meantime, Ignite is on. The Q will not connect from Varus. Ignite down for Pantheon.
Right down, and
Advantage.
Bard doesn't even have to recall here because level 2 is going to come through as well, so...
Yeah, just heal up, but this could be a potential for a dive. Viego is on the bot side. He cleared all the bot side off. Cap. Meantime, Cap cleared the top side of Viego. And can they perform a dive on the bot lane? Flashes are up, cleanses are here, but Ignite is up. But luckily,
Ziggs poke's coming out though, and it's hitting the Varus, and his dive would be kind of risky, so they're going to opt out of it. But Jack's looking for aggressive trades in the top lane with his lamppost, making sure to...
Oh, what about mid lane? Kens a nice flash out of this orb and stun, but is it enough? Obsidian is following up, but he cancelled the auto.
He cancelled the auto. He was giving it over. He was giving it over to Ziggs.
Obsidian tries to survive this. Cub is behind him, but looks like he can run away. The bot lane is coming. Can Cub be in danger now? He will be stunned in this field and gets stunned by Obsidian. Can he escape? He has no flash. And he will die. Obsidian gets the kill, and this is a nightmare for BBU.
Oh, 2 kills already over to the side of Villain. One in the jungler of Viego and the other in the hands of Victor. And that's a lot of early gold going into 2 characters that you really don't want to have. A bit of unfortunate footwork though. Kez almost managed to get out. And the cancelled auto from Viego nearly meant that he could survive. But Obsidian able to do enough damage beforehand that the kill goes over to Yeon. And then catching the volley bear on the way out as well. Absolutely huge play from Villain to start off this game 4.
Yeah, terrible start again for BBU, and maybe I will sing a Silver Scrapes for you later if we don't see it in the game. But so far, again, Villain taking the early game as far as they did today, and we'll see how will they continue. In the top lane again, Jax go aggressively, he will not get the stun again. Bobon, nice timing with the dash, he gets out and just trades with Jax. Needs to be careful, a lot of minions here. And you don't want to trade.
Volley is coming in for the gank though, and there might be a lot of minions. Flash is available for Graves too.
Yeah, he's waiting, he gets stunned, Ignite is used, Jax will follow him up, gets the stun in the last second, and this will be the kill at the end for Volibear. They needed to secure this, or Jax could die there, a 1-for-1, but luckily Cap finished him in time.
Yeah, and Jax, importantly, avoiding the second part of that Q on the way back from Graves there, make sure that it doesn't give the kill back over for free, because that would have been huge. But no flash being available on Graves could really impact him. TP being used as well. I see Bard looking to get some free slaps, and this is what we said about the Pantheon roam potential. It is scary and devastating, and he hasn't been told it's coming.
No flash on Cass. They just need to wait up with the CC chain. Doesn't need it. They will finish it up. Yeon gets another kill on the mid lane. This is what I want to see.
You can't teach flash on click. And there it is again. Flash on click, but it's coming through in the top side of the map this time. Jack's looking to get another aggressive free trade. Viego's here as well to try and join in this fight, but it could be too late. Graves is already dead. And again, the one champion you said you didn't want to see scale on the side of BBU is this Jax. As I said as well, Ziggs getting pressure on Varus with the roaming supports. Ziggs wins this lane. So you have to be careful of letting your Varus just fall away to the sideline here too, as well as Jax is getting the gold on the other side of the map. So yeah, the mid and jungle pressure coming out of Villain is strong right now. But if they're losing both side lanes, then it might not be strong enough.
TF will hit his 6th level soon, and let's see what he can do with it. Probably to look around top lane, which is the, let's say, the winning side for now for BBU. But bot lane, Ziggs is pushing in, CAS it's a bit even, the bot side. Even Patton is coming back, and if this Ziggs stays too long, he's in danger.
Yeah, there's absolutely no vision on the bottom part of the map here. Ken has no reason or rhyme to be that pushed up without any vision, and he's going to try TP out, and it's not going to be enough.
Oh no!
He's just going to ignite and die. I guess he didn't have
flash.
I guess he didn't have mana for the W, so I thought he wouldn't have made it out. But yeah,
if they can get that pick, but the Jax will jump away. TF was looking for an ult top lane, but the wave was pushed too far, so no ult for him. But Johnny,
Jack's in the middle of a 1v2 and doesn't mind being the meter in this time. Thinks he can take both. Gold card coming through.
Like, that was a really bad TF ult, and Yeon stopped everything. Now a nice stun from Bard. Maybe they can turn this around. Jax is coming here, gets the stun, probably gets the kill here on Victor. Victor tries to escape, gets some speed up from his Q, but looks like it's just a matter of time. But maybe this can save him. The orb is down in the...
Is the Bard portal available? The magical journey hasn't been used yet. No, they're opting out of it.
Yeah, some Yasuo flashbacks, let's say, on this mid laner. Again, survive something that he shouldn't, and yeah, they really needed another kill there on Jax, but unfortunately, Victor survives and they get nothing.
Yeah, the speed up from the scuttle grab there really hoping to save Yeon's skin on this one. And of course the W zone for the slow as well would have locked Jax down if he continued to try and chase that. So he had to leave it off, and not really what they were looking for. They want to get gold into the Shax right now.
But
Mid
again,
lane is
they were
looking
a bit
kind of
greedy.
rough.
Like, Victor, yes, was slow, Jax was on him, Volibear was there, Bart was there, and Volibear and Bart just backed off. They wanted to give the kill to Jax, and at the end they got nothing. Like, if they committed to that kill, just take it away, deny something from Victor. Already TF uses his ult, doesn't get nothing from it, and that's at the end win for Villain.
Yeah, Mountain Drake going over as well to Villain to start off the Drake train for this game 4. And we will see a Ocean coming in for Dragon number 2. So we're going to see Infernal Cloud again or Hex Soul for this one. And by the law of averages, it shouldn't be Cloud as that was last game. So we could potentially see an Infernal Soul coming out. And that would be devastating for either team, honestly, but specifically for Villain. And with so many damage outputs on the side.
And we can see Bobo making sure that Volibear doesn't go in their jungle and takes some CS. Meanwhile, Obsidian took all of his bot side, so even more denying CS for this Volibear. And Cap is not in the best place again on this Volibear, or he got his 1 kill so far, that on top lane. But let's see if they can dive him again. Graves on top, but we saw Graves can be tanked and survive a lot.
Yeah, the shield bow's not up. He's gone for Derek this game instead. And obviously, Volibear ult is available to turn this tower off, so we could see a gank sooner rather than later. There it goes. Ult is off to go in time with the
early.
We're going to see
coming behind him.
There, and
they cannot kill him.
They're going to have to leave this one go, and Victor TP is used to save him. And Pantheon's here. Viego's following us up as well. I don't know if the call has been given to BBU. They're trying to flash and get out now. Volibear is going to try being off, but...
Viego resets.
They're still on the run.
Has ult. Will he commit to it? Viego, nice flash stun. He gets first one, gets Jax. He will get the reset. Now they get the Volibear. He gets the Volibear. The stun commits on the Pantheon and Victor, but that's it. Another 2 kills for Villains and 6-2, 2k gold lead. And this is looking like a very, very nice story for them.
Honestly, the gap closing potential of Viego is insane. Yes, he had to use his flash there, but be able to go from what was essentially the opposite side of Krugs to the tier 2 tower of BBQ and still get the kill was the distance use was incredible. Very well done for Obsidian there. And the bot lane's kind of going in the way of Varus right now. Ken Fresno, maybe not his day. He seems to be struggling a little bit in this matchup. Oh, Varus here though.
Kai'Sa maybe in trouble, flashes out of this pit up at the end. The bomb will not connect. W does, cleanses up. He can escape the Q, night side step. Can he survive everything? But no, Ken Fresno will flash after him and get finally his first kill in the bot side, but he's already 20 TS behind.
I don't think the flash was even needed here. I mean, there's nowhere for Varus to go. Kai'Sa Mommy had already used both summoners. BBU's team was behind us. I think that's a bit overzealous use of the flash there, but Volibear getting picked up in mid now.
He doesn't have ult and he's in trouble, and Kilo gets another one in the top side. John is in danger, but luckily he will survive this. Stun on Kens. Where is his gold card? There it is, but who will he stun? There are 3 people who are ready to jump on him, and Kilo gets another one. That's a reset for the Viego, and they're just picking up, and this is what I want to see from this Pantheon.
The Goon squad coming out in the mid lane now. Honestly, seeing these 3 champions just move around the map so consistently together. They've done it the last 2 games as well. Honestly, Kellogg has been so insane these last couple of games with the roaming. And sure, he's playing Pantheon, but he's playing it so well. Same as he did on the Alistar. Making sure to get involved in these team fights and make these picks happen. And it's BBU just don't seem to know how to handle so much pressure so early in the game.
Yeah. Basically, they're taking the game in their own heads. So Obsidian plays very aggressively in the enemy jungle. 20 CS difference in the jungle side, and yeah, they don't know what to do. Fresno comes mid to protect this, but meanwhile in bot lane, Kai'Sa Mami just taking these 3 plates. Pantheon is ready for this Ziggs if he comes, and he will get deleted if he walks in this tribush.
Yeah, this is kind of worrying. Hopefully he doesn't get spotted on the way through and can pick up this gold. He's going to ult to clear the wave. Obviously Ziggs ult does more damage to minions, as we see an attempted play on the top side of the map.
no. Oh, just so much committed. They need to get this kill or this will be a nightmare for BBU. And looks like they finally get it. Cub will pick it up. But if this kill doesn't come through, this is basically doomed.
Yeah, they used 2 ults and a flash just for Graves' flash here. They do get the kill though. They could maybe look at transitioning that into something else around the map. Dragons have been off limits though because of the vertical jungle split they've been doing. So maybe look at getting a pick in the mid lane. And Panty could be overstepping here.
Ghost is used, but it was from his spellbook. Meanwhile, gets stunned, but look at this damage from Victor. It's already insane. And TF is now in danger. Will he fall? The ultimate is used. Ian gets another one, and now Volibear is stunned, and he will die. Double kill for this Victor. Looking for a triple captain. He's in trouble. Where is the magical journey? Will be available. Obsidian is following up. The magical journey will continue for him. The stun connects, and ooh, okay.
Blascone doesn't quite catch the hitbox of Viego there. Yeah, this is what I was scared of in the Champ Select screen. Whilst it looked like there was a set plan coming out with Villain, their intention seemed to be just win every single lane, group up as a 3, and goon squad our way into the mid game. And they already have generated a 5,000 gold lead. Second dragon coming in for them as well on spawn. And honestly, Obsidian on Viego seems to be unstoppable. Having these Roman supporting Kellogg as well. Good as
nice.
no?
Nice, Ziggs outplay there. He gets a kill on Pantheon, and that's another shutdown for him. A nice bunch of gold for this Ziggs, but now he needs to get out of that. There is Victor and Viego lurking around, and they're looking for this Volibear, and Cap doesn't have a really nice series this time.
Yeah, unfortunately, with having 2 losing lanes, your bot side jungle isn't your jungle. You may think it is in name, but it is definitely not yours by birthright, because that has been taken away from you by the side of the Villain, with Obsidian happily walking through here and taking everything he can get his hands on. And Ziggs never left, so Ken Fresno is at risk of the dive here.
Yeah, this time, again, nice W on the stun, but the turret aggro is on ADK. Varus will kill, and a nice
absolutely
one-for-one
2
trade.
back-to-back fantastic trades from Ken Fresno here to try and keep himself viable in this game. And honestly, to trade 2 kills here is really well done by him.
Oh, Bobo, you need to be careful for these Jax. Bart is in the near, but they don't decide to dive this for now. And what can BBU do now? Like, Jax has finished the Blade of the Ruin King. He's 123 CS, a bit of CS lead to Grace, but what can he do? Can he pop up as they needed to? But Cap comes here, Bobo in trouble. They need to change to see him, but look at this. He survives for so long. He's still alive. Now dashes around. Do they even kill him? Yeah, they do. At the end, they do.
Comes through. And this is a gifted 300 gold from Pantheon, though. Like, you are still a level 8 support, so you got to be careful just running into a volley bard, as big as you may feel. Jax is on the other side of this tower as well, so ult will turn that off. And this one should go over to Johnny. It does. Viego's here now. Varus is on the way as well. We could see a full-on team fight. TP from Ziggs. TP from Victor. It's going to be an all-out war on the top side.
Oh, Fresno, this was not the best one, and you just get deleted. But Ion, a gold card gets on Viego, but look at this low HP bar. See, Viego gets in, gets the reset. He can clean this up at the end. There is Victor running, but the speed up will save Jax, but it will not save Cap. This bear is getting extinct, and it's called Obsidian. Is deleting these bears like one after another, gets another one, a magical Bart, and this lead is just increasing, and BBU need a miracle.
Yeah, unfortunately, it turned out to be a bit too much of an overcommit. I think killing the Graves was good. Pantheon got out. Maybe you leave it beyond that one. Run through the Pantheon and just call it quits when the TP comes in from the Victor. Like, just accept, okay, we got the one, move on, go somewhere else. Right now, getting any kind of gold you can for the BBU side is huge, considering how far behind you are. So I think doing too much with too little is what's going to cause this game to fall away from you.
This is a Victor with 300 AP in 16 minutes. And this is a Data Jax, ladies and gentlemen, that we die very soon, as it like 10,000 bears in this game. But these Jax, at the end, will survive somehow.
Fancy feat.
Oh, okay. This is a bit of miscalculation.
That was a bit of a yikes.
Yep.
I love that we both just went quiet. That one kind of caught us both off guard. They were like, hang on a minute. How did Kellogg die? Hang on.
Okay, is this the game 1 PTSD incoming?
I mean, the gap to BBU isn't as big as it has been in previous games, but Cub blind walking into this Fed Viego, and Unfortunately, he dies very quickly. BBU are trying to collapse on this though, and Viego is worth 400 gold bonus, so that's 700 in total. This going over to the right character, like his Ziggs, could actually be huge. That's 5 kills for Ken Ferris now on the Ziggs now, and he is starting to stack the Dark Seal as well, so we could see the fight continuing though.
Yeah, the Victor is coming. The Fat Victor is here. Ziggs will just flash away. Here comes the Victor, but the Jax will stun him. But for how long? At the end, he will pick him up. And yeah, this Victor is a bigger problem than anybody else at the moment for BBU.
Yeah, they don't really have too much of an answer for him, unfortunately. There's not going to be too many ways for them to get onto him and kill him, especially if he just ults himself. There's not huge health bars on the side of BBU. Cub is down to 3 and 7 right now. He doesn't have the kind of tankiness that you need from this Volibear to be able to get onto this Victor and just kill him. And we already see the second Rift Herald being started. Zigzag to steal, not going to be close enough. And the second Rift will likely just go into the hands of Pantheon here. No, they give it over to Yeon.
I will pick it up. And yeah, 30 seconds to next Drake. This will be sole point for Villain. Can they manage it? At the moment, they have all the cards they need to get this Drake, and I don't think BBU will fight for this. Basically, Victor can just zone them off. He will just Herald top, recall, and go to Drake.
Yeah, and what I'd actually like to see now is the Ziggs moving up the top lane, taking one wave, popping the tower with W, and then going back to mid. Waiting there and do the same and get some bounty gold back for BBU right now, because trying to contest this dragon is suicidal. While they're using his ult to try and live, and will actually manage to get away thanks to the help of Bard. But yeah, get a bit lucky with that one.
No ultimate more for Cap. Maybe Bobo now in danger, but this Jax needs to be careful.
Right behind him, yeah.
Yeah. He wants to trade, but Pantheon coming behind. His Kaisamami gets the chain of corruption on the Jax, and Jax is just doomed. And
perfectly good ultimate from Varus there, and Bard gets one shot by the Spectre as well, who's absolutely huge. 8-0 and 6 for Yeon on this Victor right now. I don't know how they're going to be able to stop him. They need to make plays around the map that don't involve Victor, and that's kind of tough because the Goon Squad are moving around in villainous fashion, I might say, and making sure that they just one-shot anything they see.
You know, when I was 12 years old, my mama told me lasers are dangerous. And so they are now.
When I was 7 years old, my mama told me, get yourself some friends or you'll be lonely.
So when will you start with that one?
I haven't thought about starting just yet.
Okay. But I think Cup is starting. He's just running into enemy team. He wants some friends, but they just want some bear meat so far. Those traps look on point, and this lead is just extending. And Infernal Soul for this Viego, for this Yeon, that's basically 8-0 with almost 3 completed items in 20 minutes. It's just insane.
Yeah, the 7,000 gold differential right now for Villain. Only 20 minutes into the game. I think this is actually the biggest lead they've had so far, being 20 kills to 10. But also having the CS advantages, which it's the first time they've had that in every single position all series. So it just proves how much they've been improving throughout the series. Whereas BBU have really kind of stayed at the same level. It doesn't feel like they've improved throughout the series. Whereas Villain have been going to the next level. And TF could just be one shot here.
He will flash away, survive for now. He will just walk away.
I like that though. That's something we haven't seen enough from BBU for this entire series. Just the respect flash. Okay, you can kill me, I'm gone. Don't try to like make it last and make it last and make it last. Sometimes you just got to accept, hey, I got to burn my flash here.
Yeah, that's basically in lane. Like, if you burn your flash, okay, you have no flash, but your HP is full, you can stay in lane. If you wait too long, you can die, use flash later and get a kill to an opponent and just lose everything. So, better to use it safe than sorry. Ooh, nice Obsidian flash in the last second. But Victor, the holder of chains here, holder of this wall, doesn't let them pass. You shall not pass.
Viego is dead on in the middle for the Zigzag. I'm very well played by BBU to keep the Viego steady here on this one. Jack's going through as well.
Victor, magical journey on him, but a lot of damage coming. If they are all grouped up, Victor, can they manage to clean this up? Here is the damage from Varus, gets the piercing arrow. The laser will not connect with Cap, but the arrow will in the backline. We can see Bobo with the Graves, and now they're in danger. They will just clean them up. Kaisa Mombi walked up, and they aced their team.
Yeah, typically when you see teams like this, you want to think, okay, they're spread out, we're grouped up, we can take a kill and get it. And they did that, but they had to use so much to kill the Viego and the Pantheon because they're such big damage threats that they had nothing left to kill the other big damage threats, which is your Varus and your Victor. And these are huge champions in their own right. So it looked like Villain were actually spread out, but what they actually done is they actually had BBU surrounded with no way out. And what it caused there is a little bit of uncomfortableness, a little bit of miscommunication to happen, and they're going to take this Baron for free pretty much as well on the back of that play. And yeah, putting BBU under so much pressure that the communication maybe is breaking down a little bit, and that could be what's causing them to fall so far behind here. 11k.
I have a question for you. We're 22 minutes in. Do you remember a Twisted Fate ult?
The first one that didn't do anything.
Yes. You only remember those that you don't want to remember.
Yeah, typically, yeah.
But yeah, that was it. Like, he's so behind. There is a, let's see, 5k goal difference in mid lane.
Yeah, it's been a rough showing. Volibear getting picked up again here. Able to take a bit of a beating now, though.
He will survive everything, but for how long? Now here's Viego, and he is just slashing with his big sword. But Cap somehow survives everything, but for how long? Ooh, the sword will not connect there. And Viego, yeah, that was not the best BlizzCon for you. And now Viego is in trouble. Obsidian will get cut off, and Johnny will get the kill.
That's twice Obsidian has been cut off, and we could see remnants of Game 1 returning for Game 4. BBU are matching the Goon Squad style. We'll group up and we'll smash heads with you as well. And if your Obsidian wants to keep giving away his lead, then we'll keep taking it. And the champions on the side of BBU do scale.
Like, yeah, but 30 seconds to Soul. And we just saw what the two lasers of Victor just did. Like, two of TF and Ziggs just need to run away. Their HP is gone.
Can you fight for the soul? Do you have to just try steal it? Do you just ignore it and let them have Infernal Soul? Because
I don't think he can even steal it. Like, he shouldn't be able to get in the pit.
If they have Infernal Soul, though, I think they just lose every fight. They're so far behind already, and there's so much damage coming out of Villain. Ooh. It's a TF ult. They're going to go for it on spawn.
It's all or nothing. It's a Hail Mary. But Hail Mary for Princess is almost done. The TP, who will secure this Drake? Where is Viego? Viego is not even close. It looks like they could secure it and they're just backing off.
It's really low. It goes up to TF of all people.
Viego is behind Obsidian. He wants to get a Jax reset. They will get the Volibear here, but look at this damage from the Graves. A nice wall bank from him, and they're now just chasing, but Ziggs a lot of damage returning, and they're looking for reset. Obsidian will get Kez, maybe not. They survive, but they're very low, and they get 2 kills. Now only Ken Fresno tries to survive. He's the only one.
Ziggs, get out of there.
Ziggs is out, and that's a 30 kill for team. Well,
they got Dragon, but could be at the cost of an inhibitor and maybe more. A bit of unluckiness on the side of BBU here. I mean, the Ken Fresno's bomb on the Victor over the wall was maybe 2-3 pixels too short of killing the Victor, and that could have stopped that chase from going all the way through there, and there could still be 3 members alive on BB, so a little bit of unluckiness maybe on that side of things, but they lose 2 inhibs, 3 towers for the cost of that Infernal Dragon.
Yeah, plus we can see Jax had Ignite, Ziggs had Flash, Bart had Flash, a lot of summers not used in that team fight. On the other side, we can see Varo still had Cleanse and Obsidian still had his Flash, so again, the lead is so big that they cannot do anything.
It's looking kind of rough, but BB do still have answers, and they have delayed the game for another 5 minutes by getting that Infernal Drake. Baron will be next objective on the Rift to challenge 2 minutes and 30 until that shows its ugly head. And that will be when the next team fight forms, no doubt. And as you said, though, like, the team fight isn't strong for Villain. It's strong now because they're ahead, but champion-wise, they don't really have team fighting tools in this roster outside of Victor and Varusol. Everything else is kind of solo bolo, let's go low, and bounty gold going over to BBU. So the longer that they can delay this game out, the scarier it looks, I think, actually, for Villain. And BBU, 5 minutes is a long time.
But can they defend? 2 inhibs are down. They're looking for the third one now. Cap could be caught here again, and I think he will. The stun comes in, and Cap is in danger. He 1v3. The ult from Ziggs comes, but it was not enough. Jax is here. The ult from Bart will connect with
Victor's
the Pantheon. That is not enough. In the backline,
not here.
Look at Viego. I mean, Viego looks for resets, but Kez in the last second flashes away. Doesn't get the reset. Tinian still looking for it, but Graves.
1 for 1. This is fine. This is fine, PB. It's more delay.
Does it still end? It didn't end. still chasing, and Victor is coming up. In the meanwhile, look at bot lane. There's two huge waves of super minions incoming, and they can just walk with the villain in the top side, take that turret, take the inhib, and open the base.
Yeah, I think BBU have got the pick, but maybe a little bit too early. The Baron's not quite up yet, so getting that trade doesn't do too much for you. And it's risky. It's risky what we could see coming out of Villain here, but one overstep from Obsidian, which we've seen him do, one overstep from Yeon, which we haven't really seen in the series, and BBU could find a way back into this game. Jax is still just soaking up all of that super minion farm in the side lane, and he's gonna start being scary on this champion at some point. He's getting there now, 11,000 gold.
I mean, Yeon did overstep a lot of times, but he just didn't die.
True. I mean, the power of Yasuo's shield bow, right? But if you overstep and don't die, is it really an overstep? Or is it just an ego bait?
We will discuss that later, but this Victor is 7k gold ahead of the enemy mid laner. Has 4 items completed, now has Zonia. How will we kill this guy? And this is what I want to see. 2, 4, 6 pink wards. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to see pink wards all over the map from both teams. Like, we need to see vision control. Baron is up, and it's going to be killed on spawn. BBU, if they wanted to contest it, are not in the place to do it, and it's going to take them too long to clear bushes to get over there. Ziggs can clear bushes with his bombs, but if they wanted to contest the Baron, the chances be missed. It will be a Ziggs attempted steal.
I just wait it out.
It's close.
Take it away.
Close,
but not close enough.
Cigar. Yeah.
44
Graves
seconds
not here for the team fight, though. I don't know if people are aware of that. They do try to pull the trigger, so I guess they know something's missing.
Change of corruption hits, but the Cap is here on 2, but he just gets deleted. But Yeon and this virus, and who's the next target? Obsidian is looking for Kest dies, and the double for Victor behind the other team of BBU players are just dying one by one. Jax is here, that dies again, and Ken Fresno tries to escape, but no escaping for you. That's a triple kill for Victor. That's a game for Villain, and that's 3 games after losing first one. I never doubted them.
Yeah, honestly, I want to say big up to BBU for trying to find plays even though they were so far behind, because that's what they needed to do. They needed to try to find a way back into the game. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be, and they will fall down into the losers bracket. But Villain 3-1, very convincing games coming out of them. Honestly, first game, sure, we seen the mistakes, but they plugged a lot of the gaps in those. The game 2 and 3, game 4 a little bit sloppy maybe, but overall they looked really strong, and I'm excited to see them go through into the next round of this of the playoffs here.
Yeah, if they can show like these games in the next stages, they can go far. But we saw what it happens in the first game. If they don't get ahead, they don't know what to do. Like they were looking for picks, but just they couldn't commit anything. And if other teams like read them what they did here and what they did wrong in the first game and just play around that, they can get punished, and we'll see how they use that.
Yeah, and I think for BBU, I don't think it's back to the drawing board, so to speak. They obviously have a lot of tools at their disposal that they can use to win games. Maybe they just need to think, okay, we've been figured out. They're taking Trundle away from us. They're taking GP away from us. What can we use to replace those options and allow us to get to that late game where we do dominate and we do outplay these teams and out macro these teams and outscale these teams? They've got to try figure out going into the loser bracket now. What can they do to fill that gap that gets them to that point in the game?
And what do you ban versus them? Like we saw, like 3 different bans from BBU, and still they found something else. Eon, a lot of champs in mid lane that he can pull out. Kaisa Mami, 3 different AD carries. All he performed all 3 of them. On top lane, Bobo on Graves, and what was the first one? I forgot. Trindamir, and probably has something else. Obsidian, same. Lilia, Viego. So a lot of champs in their disposal, and what to do versus that.
Okay, so we're going to be having an interview with Obsidian himself right now. So we're going to drag him on in. And Obsidian, welcome. What a series from Villain. I mean, the first game was fantastic from both teams, and being able to like straight reverse sweep 3-1 without even letting them get a second on the board. We've seen a lot of different styles from your team. but the last two games you kind of seem to just take over. What was the change in dynamic from game one into the rest of the series, do you think?
Um, I mean, after we threw game one, because we were kind of nervous, first time in playoffs. Yeah, we just said, I mean, we got ahead, so we can do it again. But this time we just need to clean out our mid to late game, and I think that's what we did. We took like also easier comps to play. I think the second comp we had to Diana Yasuo. It was really easy to execute. So once we got the confidence back, we were just chilling.
Yeah, Shoku covered that as well. I said your comp looked a little bit too difficult to pull off maybe in game one, but in game two and three, you definitely rounded it out and covered all of your bases. And Shoku here was adamant that you guys could have closed out game one a lot sooner if you just cleaned up some of those like mid game mistakes and let BBU back in. And that seems to be what you've done. Was it? Did you guys as a team acknowledge that, or do you have a coach that maybe said, "Hey guys, I watched the game. This is what's missing." Was it a communication thing, or was it just maybe a one-off occurrence? Do you think?
Nah, just as a team, we just discussed about it. Our coach is more there for emotional support.
That's all Shoku's here for. He's just emotional support for them. Shoku, is there anything you want to ask Obsidian while you've got him? I know you were ranting and raving about the Viego this game.
I mean, at least he was not playing 3 games of volleyball, which I'm happy. So I'm happy with that. But like, we need to speak about their support. Like, I think he was playing amazing, especially this last game, just roaming around with you, finding picks, and just giving you a lead over and over again. And can you even play like late game? Let's say you play very early mid game champs at the moment and just try to snowball the games. The first one, you went to 40 minutes, you had some trouble. Are you confident enough that you can play like late game champs and scale early and not be so proactive?
Yeah, we're confident in that. But the thing is, like, my mindset is, um, if you have an early game comp and you lose a game, it's your fault because you didn't win the game early enough. As in, if you play late game comps, you go out of like, okay, the enemy has to make mistakes. So you're waiting them to make mistakes, which you don't really play that style. So
Okay, so
it's, I mean,
you feel like you have more control over the game, basically.
yeah, exactly. And like from 4 games, like we won 3 of them just by snowballing the early game with like early to mid game comps. So seems to be working.
Yeah, there's not too much to ask. Honestly, the games are very clean after the first one. Shoku was wondering though, and especially post. I mean, honestly, I don't have an answer to it, and I don't expect you to give us one. But what are you guys scared of being banned against you? Because they tried to target ban um everything from game 2 to 3. They picked up on what you guys were playing and banned it away, and you just picked something else and stomped with it anyway. Like, how deep does the rabbit hole go, so to speak? Like, how many champions are in the pool for yourself for Kaisamami as well? How do you drop double digit kills on 3 different ADCs on Varus?
I mean, like we as a team, we discuss a lot about like the new picks and meta. We always are up to date. So if we think something is good, we just play it. And yeah, I mean, I trust everyone in my team to like come up with new ideas, new picks, and we just practice it. If it's good, it's good. If it's not good, we just don't play it. So
Okay,
yeah.
so practice makes perfect, basically. Then, Shoku, is there anything you'd like to ask Obsidian before we let him go take a much deserved rest and small celebration for winning the first round of the playoffs?
Can you tell your mid laner to send me the files for the surviving patch? You just don't die in the game.
Yo, funny story though. He accidentally maxed his Q, and that kind of saved him. Um,
Wow. Wow.
if he hadn't maxed his Q, I think he was dead there.
Well, there you have it then, Obsidian. Before you go, any last words you'd like to give, any shout outs? You've had a couple of fans in the chat piping up. Is there anything you'd like to say to the villain fans out there that have been watching you guys on your journey through the group stages and into the playoffs?
I mean, shout out to the boys, to the Evo boys, and to the IMG boys. Shout out to them, and thanks everyone for watching.
Okay, well, thank you
Yeah.
very much for joining us then, Obsidian. We will see you in the next round, but for now, I will let you go and celebrate with your team. Thank you for playing for the fantastic series. It has been a best of 5, but it ended at 4. 3-1 to Villain over BBU. I have been Mr. Fluffy Bunny with my co-caster and one of the most talented casters that VL have to offer in Shokugeki. We've been casted by Gekno, it's broadcast by Gekno, and it's been fantastic. Honestly, we will be back on Monday with some more casting. I don't know if I will be here. I don't know if Shoka will be here, but VL will be here. So make sure you check out the games. Shoka, is there anything you'd like to say as a closing note?
Thank you for having me back at VL. Feels nice, and get ready for next season. We are coming.
Yeah, so there you go. CW may be coming next season back into VL as well. But for VL, the other stream is already finished, so that is us done for today. Thank you to everybody who tuned in, and we'll see you.